Boy, do we have a lot lined up today, guys. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. I feel like I can't say welcome in if it says welcome in in the opening, but nevertheless, you're here. I had someone ask me, hey, where'd the opening go when you posted the show? Well, I don't leave the openings typically. I did leave them the last two shows because I'm very proud of that. Adfleet did a great job on that. And so I did leave it in the last couple of shows, but typically I trim the opening. But if you want to hear it at any given time and you want to know exactly where it is, go to the Baron Coleman Clips channel. You can head over there and find it. And it's at Baron Coleman Clips, youtube.com/@Baron Coleman Clips. You can find it there. And it's just the 3 minutes of the music. Victor Marx, ladies and gentlemen. Candace has been hitting on Victor a little bit. We sort of did a shallow dive into Victor. We started digging around a little more, and we have some stuff we want to talk about because I have some questions. I have some real questions. We're going to look at some photos. We're going to look at some domain registrations. We're going to look at some property transfers. The guy's shady. I'm sorry. Shady. That's with an A. Shady. No short I there. No hard T's. Shady. The guy is shady. In my opinion. Just in my opinion. But welcome in. We've got a lot to talk about. Also, the opening. I want to explain the opening before I get to it. I didn't have it all written out. I had like bullet points on it, but when the Iran war first started kicking off, I sort of pre-scripted this opening a little bit, had some key phrases I wanted to make sure I threw in there, and some bullet points, but I didn't have it really written out in a full opening. But now that it looks like we may be getting ready to re-engage Iran, I wanted to go ahead and do the opening because stuff's scary out there, guys. Stuff is scary out there. But we're going to make a lot of connections today. So if you had any interest in the last few weeks coverage over Victor Marx, settle in, get a warm beverage like a cup of tea or a bottle of water, but make sure you've got your safety harness firmly fastened because you don't want to fall out of your seat. It's a lot of fun we're going to have today, but I don't want to waste any time. To answer your question, I have no idea where Candace is. She doesn't clear her vacation schedule with me. I have no idea where she is. I'm assuming she's fine. She's been posting on social media today, so I assume she's healthy and everything's fine. But she doesn't clear her schedule with me, so I have no idea. But I had a bunch of people text me in the last hour, like, "Is Candace going on? You know where Candace?" I was like, "Ask George, ask Candace. I don't know. But I do want to jump right into the opening here because I don't want to let today's show get away from us at the time because the actual meat of the show. So those of you who don't understand how the show's structured, I hear this all the time. I can't invest 3.5 hours for a show. You don't have to. Settle down. Calm down. The opening's about 15 minutes, usually. Sometimes 10, sometimes 20, around 15 minutes. Then we do an hour, maybe an hour and 10, hour and 15 of news, content, new stuff, research. I invite you guys into my office and we talk about what we've been researching here at the Real Baron podcast. And then we do some Q&A at the end. So it's not a 3.5 hour commitment. If you just want to hear the opening statement, it's a 10 or 15 minute commitment. You don't want to hear anything about the opening. You just want to get into the meat. It's about an hour. You just want to listen to Q&A, an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. We just have a good time here, guys. We just have a good time. So, but I do want to jump right into the opening for that reason, because I do want to leave plenty of time for content today. I don't want the show to get away from us and me be shortchanged on the content section because this is a dense day. So I hope you have your notepad, get you a nice sharp pencil, maybe a pocket knife so you can sharpen it up as you go. You may need it. Or if you've got a mechanical pencil, you just click the button there in the end. If you're taking notes with a Sharpie, you're going to run out of paper today. I got bad news. You're going to run out of paper. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, without further ado, this is your opening statement. The nuclear football, officially known as the Presidential Emergency Satchel, isn't actually a football at all. Instead, it's a specially designed briefcase carried by a rotating team of U.S. military aides, travels with the president at all times. When he's away from fixed command centers like the White House Situation Room or Presidential Emergency Operations Center, the nuclear football weighs in at about 45 pounds, believe it or not. It's a hefty piece of equipment. It's built around an aluminum frame, has a black leather covering. That's why they call it a satchel. Kind of looks like a satchel, but it's sturdy. It contains the tools and documents enabling the commander-in-chief, President of the United States, to authenticate his identity, communicate securely with the Pentagon's National Military Command Center, and, of course, authorize nuclear strikes or take other emergency actions during a national crisis. Sometimes you'll see a small antenna protruding from the top. That is for satellite communications. They have hardened satellite communications that are hardened against electromagnetic pulses. Contrary to popular belief, the nuclear football does not have a big red button for instant launches. Nor would it. That would be weird. You would basically launch everything at once. How would you pick which ones you want to launch? Instead, it serves as a mobile command center, a mobile command hub, symbolizing sole presidential authority over nuclear decisions. It provides structured options for the president to consider in an emergency and verification protocols to verify his identity and choose from a pre-planned list of actions. The nuclear football's roots trace all the way back to the late 1950s under President Dwight D. Eisenhower. It was deemed necessary during growing fears of a Soviet surprise nuclear attack enabled by the newly entered intercontinental ballistic missiles technology. White House naval aide Captain Ned Beach conceived of the idea of a portable satchel or a black bag to carry emergency action documents. Emergency action documents are also known as EADs or PEADs, meaning EADs for presidential consideration. These documents included pre-draft proclamations for declaring national emergencies, suspending habeas corpus, imposing martial law, establishing censorship, and mobilizing resources under constitutional powers. By 1957, historic photographs show naval aides carrying a locked satchel during civil defense exercises like Operation Alert. I'm sorry I keep coughing today, guys. The allergies in Middle Tennessee are ludicrous, so that's probably going to be an ongoing thing tonight. I apologize. Agencies completed most EADs by June of 1958, and the satchel accompanied Eisenhower on travels outside of Washington, D.C. It also supported pre-delegated authority for atomic weapons use, including instructions for making nukes available to NATO allies. January 19th, 1961, the day before his inauguration, Eisenhower and his staff briefed President-elect John F. Kennedy on the satchel's contents. Included in the ominous-sounding Federal Emergency Plan D- was nuclear authorization documents. Kennedy standardized and modernized the antiquated system. During the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis, Kennedy grappled with command and control vulnerabilities. A declassified memo captures very pointed questions. Things like, what would I say to the Joint War Room to launch an immediate nuclear strike? Can you imagine being tasked with having to ask that question? And how would the person who received my instructions verify it was me? Those are legitimate questions. And those questions prompted refinements that included a simplified menu of strike options under the evolving single integrated operational plan. The nickname football emerged around 1963, likely from an early war plan, using the football-inspired codename Dropkick. The first known photo of the satchel in use dates all the way back to 1963 at the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. By the date of Kennedy's assassination in November 1963, the black bag had evolved to include the SIOP Execution Handbook, also known as the Gold Book or the Black Book. It also had codes for contacting allies like the British Prime Minister and the French President, and dozens of PEADs. The setup became the standard for every president after Kennedy. Before the satchel's creation, nuclear command and control relied on ad hoc, often decentralized processes considered poorly suited to the age of intercontinental ballistic missiles. For example, in the early Cold War, under Truman and Eisenhower, the president could theoretically authorize strikes by phone to the Pentagon or the Strategic Air Command. But verification of identity and rapid execution were pretty rudimentary at the time and based nearly entirely on whether the person on the other end of the phone believed he was talking to the president. Warning times shrank dramatically with the advent of intercontinental ballistic missiles in the late 1950s, raising the specter of decapitation strikes that could destroy Washington leaderships before orders even reached forces. So Eisenhower introduced limited pre-delegation, believe it or not. This involved field commanders, including some NATO pilots that weren't even American, that had advanced authorization to use tactical nuclear weapons if they deemed the communication system had failed and an attack seemed imminent. It's hard to believe, as we sit here today, the subjective determination of a single foreign pilot could decide whether the world incinerated itself with nuclear weapons, but that was the protocol at the time. Separate service war plans existed until the unified SIOP in 1960, but these lacked presidential mobility or authentication safeguards. A president traveling or isolated might lose contact entirely. That would risk paralysis or, probably worse, rogue actors. The system assumed fixed command posts. There was no portable menu of options. There were no secure communications gear for on-the-go decisions. So Kennedy's push after the Cuban Missile Crisis centralized the sole authority for using nuclear weapons in one man, the President of the United States. Kennedy also created a flexible, verifiable set of procedures that directly addressed the gaps that previously existed. The nuclear football embodied that shift from potential chaos to a structured system of presidential control. The satchel's necessity stems from the unforgiving physics of nuclear deterrence in the missile era. For example, a Russian, Chinese, or North Korean first strike could arrive in under 30 minutes. That would leave no time for the president to reach a bunker or a situation room. The nuclear football ensures continuity of government and continuity of command. The president can authenticate and select from pre-vetted strike packages, ranging from limited tactical hits to full-scale retaliation. He can transmit order via secure link. It supports the sole authority of the president. There's no formal veto from Congress. There's no veto from the Secretary of Defense or any other military leader. So as deterrence doctrine evolved from massive retaliation to a more flexible response, the Black Book offered nuanced choices. One aide described it as, for example, selecting from one from column A, two from column B. This reduced reliance on an all or nothing plan that would all but guarantee total annihilation. It also includes relocation sites, emergency alert system procedures, and ally communications. These plans enable national leadership amid chaos. 3 footballs exist, one with the president, one with the vice president, and one back at the White House. Much remains classified, but details about the nuclear football have emerged and leaked piecemeal. The first public hints appeared all the way back in 1965. There were media reports like the Baltimore Sun article on launch codes and verification procedures. William Manchester's 1967 book, The Death of a President, drew on interviews with aides like Generals Chester Clifton and Tazewell Shepard, who revealed the role of the nuclear football and the role it played in the Kennedy assassination. Former White House military director Bill Gulley wrote a memoir back in 1980 called Breaking Cover. It probably offered the most detailed, unclassified description of the contents of the nuclear football. He revealed the Black Book had 75 pages of strike options and it had casualty estimates in cartoons next to each option. It had a book of secure sites. It had a emergency broadcast procedure section. And then it had an authentication card called a biscuit. National Security Archive releases in recent years of the declassified Eisenhower Kennedy briefing memo and PEAD critiques showed obsolescence concerns that lasted into the Carter years. Los Alamos National Laboratory declassifications in recent years filled in even more gaps about the origin of the nuclear football. There were off-the-record accounts of former presidential aides and presidential library photos that have added context. But specifics on current codes and comm gears obviously and thankfully stay secret. The nuclear football has never authorized an actual launch, but it has played a pivotal role in several crises. For example, November 22nd, 1963, the day President Kennedy was assassinated. Army warrant officer carried it to Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson on Air Force One after Kennedy's assassination, and aides immediately briefed the new president on what it was and how it worked. The most dramatic incident involving the nuclear football occurred March 30th, 1981, on the assassination attempt on Ronald Reagan. There was so much chaos at the Washington Hilton that a military aide left the football behind as the motorcade rushed Reagan to George Washington University Hospital. Further complicating matters, as doctors cut away his clothing, they inadvertently separated the biscuit authentication card, meaning there was a short period of time where both the biscuit and the football were lost. The biscuit was later found unsecured in a shoe on the emergency room floor. The system still functioned because backup procedures existed, but the episode exposed obvious vulnerabilities. Then there's September 11th, 2001. President George W. Bush used the football's communications while on Air Force One, while the United States government activated its continuity of government plans. There was Vice President Mike Pence, whose football carrier was photographed evacuating during the January 6th chaos and came perilously close to protesters gathered at the Capitol. Other notable moments include Jimmy Carter losing his biscuit in his dry cleaning, and Bill Clinton misplacing his biscuit for months and not realizing it. So today, the nuclear football endures, even as it's had a few hiccups along the way. But it endures as a Cold War artifact adapted to 21st century threats. It underscores America's unique sole authority model. The model is, of course, efficient. One person gets to make all the calls. But should one person really make the call on behalf of the 8 billion or so people on Earth? Is it right to truly trust apocalyptic power to a single sole individual? That's debatable. And it's particularly debatable with America's recent penchant for electing octogenarian presidents who, to put it mildly, don't seem completely in control of their faculties at all times. Think Biden and Trump. But the reality of the necessity persists. With a hostile strike limiting retaliatory decisions to mere minutes, any sort of review over the decision to respond could mean a catastrophic and deadly loss before a nuclear war has even had a chance to fully begin. And that's where the nuclear football comes in. It is mobile, and it has verification procedures, and at least in theory, it gives us a fighting chance if the worst of our fears ever come to fruition. The nuclear football remains the ultimate insurance policy and humanity's most dangerous and expensive game. And that is your opening statement. I was fascinated in researching about the nuclear football. I did not know that much about it. I knew there was a bag people carried around. I had no idea what was in it. And so a couple of months ago, I thought, I don't like the prospect of Iran war. We got China potentially on the other side. We've got Russia potentially on the other side. I should probably learn about how a president goes about deciding whether to launch a nuclear war, particularly with Trump involved, because he seems rather fascinated with nuclear war. So I wanted to know all about the nuclear football. That was a fun story to research, believe it or not. You know what else was a fun story to research? Victor Marx. Holy mackerel, dude. This guy is wacky. It's all I can say. The guy is just wacky. And he wants to be the governor of the state of Colorado. I want to remind you of a couple of things we've covered about Victor Marx, but I think it's worth reviewing as we look at some of the information here today. First, Victor Marx, through his LLC, Victor Marx Group, LLC, holds a Type 1 FFL. He's a dealer in firearms other than destructive devices. This includes gunsmiths. He's up for renewal here at the end of the year. I don't know. I'm assuming he'll renew it. But so if you were not aware, the fast-talking preacher is also a gun dealer. Okay, that's weird enough. But is that all we know about Victor Marx? No. We know that not only does he deal guns, he likes to do dangerous things. For example, He refers to himself on his website as a high-risk humanitarian. Successful missions to Iraq, North Africa, and Southeast Asia, and many times in non-permissive and high-threat environments involving orphans and widows. There is Victor Marx and his lovely bride Eileen. I have no idea where they are, but they're in a Toyota Hilux. I wish they sold Toyota Hiluxes here in America. I don't know that you can get one here. That's a great truck, by the way. That's a great truck. So I don't know where they are. They're overseas. I have no idea why they don't sell the Hilux here. I would buy one. I would buy a Hilux. But they don't sell it. You got to get a Tacoma if you want a compact Toyota here. But that's not what this show's about. But that's where they are. Again, have no idea where they are. I'm assuming the foreign script here on the background here is meant to portray danger. Portray danger. He's been married 34 years, according to him, has 5 children, 5 grandchildren, and has helped more than 45,000 children. That's an awfully vague and broad number. I noticed that number has not changed in many years. As I was talking to Daisy about it today, she mentioned Jaco Booyens, who we've talked about on this program. For a decade or so, he's been saying he's helped 30,000 children. So I don't know if these guys are out of the child helping business and their number never climbs, or they just made up the number in the first place. I've not heard from any of the children they've helped, but those are the claims he makes. And finally, last bit of background here. Victor Marx is, for some reason, running for governor of Colorado. I don't think he'll win. Colorado's fairly Democrat state. The waves seem to be cutting against Republicans this year, but keep in mind, campaigns give you an opportunity to launder a lot of money. And I know there are people out there. I'm not suggesting Victor Marx is doing this, not overtly anyway, but there are a lot of people who run for office just to launder money. I know it shocks you. You wonder, like, why would a Democrat run statewide in Mississippi or Alabama or South Carolina? You know, they can't win. So why would they run? And why would they go raise millions of dollars? Well, I don't want to be the one to tell you, but I'm not saying they all do it for this reason, but you can launder a bunch of money through a political campaign. Holy mackerel, can you launder a bunch of money? I was in politics a long time. I never laundered money through politics, but I saw people doing it left and right, ladies and gentlemen. It happens. It's a big business. A huge business. Here's a little highlight from his bio page on Victor for Governor, Victor2026.com. Over the years, I've been blessed to know men of deep conviction and courage. Leaders who don't just talk about change, but live it. So this is what's interesting to me. If you're going to use the semicolon here and indicate that you have a great deal of grammatical knowledge, why the comma splice here? Nice use of the semicolon. Oops, didn't mean to throw in an extra comma. It's like they're sprinkling it in like pepper. But I don't want to be pedantic, ladies and gentlemen. That's not why you come to this program. That's not why you come to this program. One of those friends whom I held in the highest regard was the late Charlie Kirk. I first met Charlie while speaking at a small, predominantly Latino church in Oxnard, California. I spoke before him, even though he had been scheduled as the keynote. Later, he admitted he was a little frustrated until he heard my message. He told me it deeply impacted him. That's called humble bragging. It's probably not true. I can't imagine that story's true, but if it's true, why would you say it? Like, you know, this great rhetorician, he was just an amazing speaker, but he told me my speeches were excellent. He told me how much I impacted him. What a weird thing to say on your own website. But again, I'm just giving you some background. I'm not here to trash. Well, some of the things we'll talk about may inadvertently trash Victor, but we're just talking facts tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not a lot of conclusion drawing. I'm just pointing out some things that I found, or that Daisy has found. All right. Now, this is where it gets fun. I hope you have your pencil. I hope you have a good notebook, because I'm going to show you a series of documents. Here is one right here. This is, now we had to hide some of the names in here. We've had to trim this out so you can't see the addresses and all that, because people freak out about stuff like that. But this is a purchase of the home that Victor Marx claims as his primary residence. You'll notice here it was back in 2014. It was for $400,000. We covered up the grantor because it doesn't really matter. The grantee was the Billy Bernard Trust. I don't know who Billy Bernard is, honestly. We found some William Bernards, some Billy Bernards, some Bill Bernards in the Colorado area, Colorado Springs area. But I don't know which particular Billy Bernard this is. But he did. He put what looks like 5% down on the home, $400,000 sale, $380,000 financed. And the grantee, keep in mind, is this trust. It was not to Victor and his wife. It was to this Billy Bernard Trust. But we'll dig into that and see if we can figure out what that is. So that's the first document. Then we find that the Billy Bernard Trust has a particular P.O. box. And if you go to the Billy Bernard Trust and you look at the P.O. box, we covered up the number because people freak out about addresses around here. But that's the P.O. box right there. And that's the Billy Bernard Trust in Colorado Springs. There's the sale price, $400,000. And we were able to cross-reference that P.O. box there with P.O. boxes associated with Victor Marx's kids. For example, here is 34-year-old Shiloh Marx, who has the same P.O. box right here. Shiloh Marx is his son, one of his kids, and it's got that same P.O. box. We've covered it up for privacy reasons, but trust me, those are the same P.O. boxes that are on the Billy Bernard Trust. So I don't know who Billy Bernard is. I wish I did. I guess I wish I did, but I don't know who the Billy Bernard Trust is. If you're wondering, it's also associated with a daughter, Brianna, Brie like the cheese. Brianna Marx, 36, and that's the same P.O. box right there. So I think we can safely say the Billy Bernard Trust is related to Victor Marx, and so we can go back to 2014 and say his children use this P.O. box. His house was registered to a trust that uses this P.O. box. We probably think there's something about, and he's been living there this whole time. Now we find where it gets a little interesting. Because in 2020, the Billy Bernard Trust transfers this piece of property for $0. It just gives it to Von Marx, which is Victor Marx, Von Victor Marx. And it says Eileen Marx. I think it's Eileen Marx, but it just gives it to him. No dollars, quick claim transfer. The Billy Bernard Trust and the trustees, Victor and Eileen, just grant it outright to Victor and Eileen for $0. So now you are the married couple and you have a house that sold for $400,000 and you just have it. There was a trust. The house was in the trust and now it's just in your name. I don't know the tax implications of that. I'm assuming they did everything legally, paid taxes and all that good stuff. I'm assuming they had good financial advice and all that. So that takes us to 2020. That's mid-COVID, if you're wondering. October 2020 was like the height of COVID. Now we get to another weird transfer from the Marx family. Before I set up the transfer, let me tell you what's going on here. Victor Marx runs a charity. This charity is called With God, All Things Are Possible. This is not a charity that makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. It brings in 3 to 7 million, I think, in the last few years. 3 million some years, 7 million some years. Most of that, it seems, goes out in salaries and expenses, travel. I think they spend like $1 million a year in travel. They maybe $2, $3, $4 million a year in salaries. I don't know how much each person makes. I don't know how many people work for this thing. And at the end of the year, they're able to bankroll a little money, $500,000, $1 million, whatever, that they're able to put back in the charity for, I guess, for a rainy day. Put it in the rainy day fund. I'm not 100% sure what this charity does. They claim it goes around saving orphans around the world. You just kind of have to take their word for it. But this charity ends up over the course of several years stockpiling a pretty good amount of money. I'll show you by year what I'm talking about here, because I can go back to 20. Man, we can go all the way back on this, but let me go back to 2011 and show you kind of what I'm talking about. This is Victor Marx's charity. With God, all things are possible. This is from the ProPublica website. Back in 2011, they brought in a little over $640,000. They spent, wow, weirdly, $666,000. We all should have known right then what we were dealing with. Quick, go spend another $500. Quick, quick, quick. But regardless, they spent $666,000, the mark of the beast, right? But that was 2011. So, I guess they're kind of getting by. They paid out about a third of it in salaries to executives. Another half a third went out to other people. But then you'll just see this number sort of slowly climbs. 2012, it's 800,000. 2013, it's up to 1 million. But again, not a lot of net income, only 10,000. They spend almost everything they get. 2014, we're still at about 1 million. 2015, it doubles. We're almost at 2 million. By 2016, we're still at 2 million. By 2017, this is when the JE network, the JE files, the guy that had the island down there in the Caribbean, he had the ranch over in New Mexico. He had the apartment and the high rises in New York City. That guy, this is when his network starts to go down. So you've got this guy making 1 million, 2 million. That JE network starts to crumble. He's up to 3 million. This is the year the JE network finally falls and he dies in alleged custody. This is 2.3 million, 2.1 million. So he's just kind of piddling along at 2 million. And then boom, this is the COVID year, 3.5 million. Boom, the next year, 7 million, then down to 4 million. And then 2023, 6.5 million. And 2024, almost back up to 8 million. So I'm saying this to say this isn't the type of organization. I mean, 7 million is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of people would be happy to make $7 million, but they're spending a lot of the money. They're spending a ton of the money. They've got people making six figures here. They have $700,000+ going out in compensation. They have expenses and all kinds of stuff. But look here, they've got $3.9 million in assets. The year before that, they had $2.8 million in assets. So they're saving money as they go. So if you run a charity, let's just say you're Victor Marx, and you run a charity, and your charity has $4 million locked up in it, you can't spend that $4 million. I mean, you can, but it has to be on charitable purposes. But let's say you wanted to spend it. Let's say you wanted the money in your pocket. Well, if you just paid it to Victor Marx, the IRS might be bothered. They might say, now, hold on, Mr. Marx. Hold on, Victor Marx. You're running a charity here that's only making $4 to $7 million a year, and you paid yourself $3 million. That doesn't seem very charitable. We need to open your books and see what's going on here. That would be a problem. That would be a problem. And so you have to find, let's say they're $4 million locked away in the charity, and I want access to some of that, but I can't just go take it because the IRS is going to be noticed. I'd have to pay taxes on almost all of it. How can I get the money out of the charity? Tink, tink, tink. I am really torn up about this. I've got an idea. I've got a great idea. I own a nice choice piece of property that we've lived in since 2014. It was in a trust, and then the trust quit claimed it over to me personally, so I own it outright. What if we were to sell that piece of property that we bought for $400,000? We bought the property for $400,000. We've lived there for 10 years. Why don't we sell it to the charity? And why don't we sell it to the charity for $3 million? You see that right there? Why don't we sell it to the charity for $3 million? And that way, the charity will now own it. With God, all things are possible, doing business as ATP Ministries. And the trust that has the P.O. box that shares with my kids and all that will now have the $3 million. And because it's on property, our tax will be very low. We're not paying income tax. We're not paying state income tax. We'll just pay a little capital gains tax and everything will be forgiven. I thought that was very strange, particularly when you look at how this property is appraised. Notice the sale price here, and notice it was not exposed to open market reload, whatever that, relationship, sales, whatever that is. But they bought a piece of property for $400,000. They sat on it for 10 years and sold it to their own charity for $3 million. That's good work if you can get it. It's great work if you can get it. But what if it was appraised at $3 million? Well, then you think, okay, well, that's a fair deal. That's arm's length, right? The charity owns it, but they paid about what it's worth. Well, let's go look at the recent appraisals for the property. Do they come anywhere near that? Keep in mind, this property was purchased for $400,000 back in 2014. Most property has about doubled in value since 2014. So maybe we'll think 800,000, right? Well, that's what the tax agencies think. They think it's worth about $853,000 right there. So my question is, if the property was purchased for $400,000 in 2014, and it was quitclaimed for $0 in 2020 to the Marxes, and then quitclaimed to their trust in 2021 to the Billy whatever trust, and now it's sold for $3 million. So the trust now ends up with this $3 million. And as we know, the P.O. box is related to the Marx family. So we can assume they're the beneficiaries of this trust. It's an assumption. I haven't seen the trust documents, but can't imagine any other reason why their family would be listed on those P.O. boxes on research sites. But I started thinking, this is really good work if you can get it. Wonder what's on this property. I wonder what this property looks like. Has there been any massive improvement that would justify an increase in price from $400,000 of 750% improvement to go from $400,000 to $3 million? Well, luckily, I have access to some historical photography of this particular location. So let's go through this, shall we? And when we go through it, I'll show you there's something else interesting about this property that I noticed. So this is the home. It's this 5 acres here. It's all fenced off. You can see they have one of these weird fences that sometimes farms have where there's like a thing over the top of it. I guess it makes you look rich. I don't know. But that's the front yard. There's the house, pretty normal looking house. There's some kind of shed here. It looks like it stores lawn equipment or something. Some kind of shed back here. And a weird hole pit in the ground back here. It very well could be some kind of shooting house or something, but it's actually below ground. I'll show you if you look at it at an angle. You can see how this pit actually sits down in the ground. You see that? And I'm assuming that's some sort of shooting pit. You kind of get an idea of what it looks like here. It keeps wanting to jump to the newer stuff here. You can see there's a good image there. You can see how it goes down into the ground. And it has 2 levels on it there. So we go back and we just kind of look at it again and we think, okay, well, this is just, pretty normal house. $400,000. It's north of Colorado Springs. Nice little place. Nothing wrong with it here. So let's just click through it over the years. Here it is the next year. Same little shed here. Same little building here. Maybe they've improved the driveway a little bit, but nothing crazy. This little ditch back here kind of still looks the same. Not a lot has changed. Then we have We're up to 2020. Get a little better view of the pit here, whatever's going on back here. Looks like it has some wood in it, some kind of gazebo function or something down in there. I don't know what that is. I guess if you want to hang out back there and not be, I don't know what these barrels or whatever these are, but if you want to hang out back there and not be in the sun, I guess you could head in there. We got ourselves a nice little tractor. I mean, it's just a normal piece of property that kind of a rural family would have out here. We go a couple years later, we're starting to get more cars on the property. I don't know whose cars these are, but there's 5 over here on this side. There's 3 right here. There's 1 right here. You got this ditch back here and 1 right here. So you're up to 9 or 10 houses on the property already, but still just the same buildings. I mean, nothing that would justify a 750% improvement in market value over 10 years that I can tell. Now we go forward to April of 2021, same thing. We've got our ditch back here. It still looks like a ditch. We've got our building here. Still looks like the same building. These look the same. We go forward, starting to get a little cleaner imagery here, but again, nothing crazy. Just grass and houses, right? Or just one house, some kind of building that they use. Now they've added this little structure onto this building. I don't know if that's worth $2 million. It doesn't seem like it. It just looks like a little steel building. They might have added an awning here to this one. There's some kind of fire pit maybe here or something that they can sit around and maybe smoke some Cubanos. Now they've added something here, I noticed, that kind of looks like jail cells in this room, but I don't know what this is. This again is underground, keep in mind. And I have no idea what they've added back here, what these things are, but they've added some rooms or something to this little pit that's in the ground, and they've moved the gazebo from one side to the other. So I don't know what's going on back here in 2021, but it's the first time they've done any kind of real improvement back there. But other than that, I mean, it's still just the same stuff. Nothing that would justify a 750% increase. We go forward to the end of 2021. Now we got a camper on the property. Not really a fixture. We've still got these rooms that are being added back here. Some kind of large tarpaulin or something on the ground over here. I don't know if that's covering stuff. I don't know what that is. And then we got some equipment out here. But again, nothing that would add take a $400,000 piece of property up to $3 million. 2022, really the same thing. We've got some kind of construction or something going on out here. The end of 2022, same thing. We got some construction stuff over here. We got some construction stuff over here. Don't really know what's going on. Still got our jail cells in this room back here. Whatever, or I call them jail cells. I'm just messing around. We're just kind of creeping and crawling our way forward because now we have a couple of additional structures on the facility. Here we have this. We saw there was some construction over here. We got a little green roof. We've got some kind of little room back here that they built. I'll take a closer look at it in a second. And we've got another one way back here in the back, like hidden in the woods. No idea. There's not really any road to get to it. I had no idea what that is. I have a sneaking suspicion what it could be, but I don't want to take a guess quite yet. But same thing. Now the jail cells have been removed. We still have just a hole in the ground back here. We still got this little tarpaulin or whatever that thing is right there. And we have these 2 buildings. So this is Victor Marx' house that we've now increased in value. It'll sell here the next year. This is 2023 from $400,000 to $3 million, a 750% increase. About this time right here, about 2024. And again, the only real additions are this metal building here on the right, this little metal building here with a little path that goes to it, this little metal building here, and the hole in the ground still looks like, I guess we've added a little tarpaulin right here, whatever that's holding. And then we go forward to the end of the year, same thing, nothing changed there, nothing changed here. Just we have added a camper here at the end of August 2024 and a camper here. And it looks like people are in these because their awnings are out. So that awning is out and that awning is out. So it looks like there are people staying in those campers. I have no idea what's going on this property. There's a lot of activity, though. I know that. Now we're on March 2025. Look, they've added a roof. I think this might be what the guy was talking about. Remember the Corby Hall, the guy that Candace had on her show, talked about Victor had some sort of shooting house with holes that went out, like guns facing out? I think that's what he's talking about. They've taken that pit in the ground that looked like it had little jail cells in it at one time, and they've covered it. We can no longer see inside of it. There's a roof on it now, and it looks like it has skylights, meaning it probably doesn't have electricity. This is the light up here is from the skylights. And I don't know, again, why they're doing this. I don't know what this big pit that they've dug around it is. It looks like they're making a bigger pit out here. We now have a car back by this room, as if someone could be staying back here or working back there somehow. We now have a car over by this room. And when we get into October, now this is a month after Charlie Kirk has passed away, we have two campers over here, both with awnings out, as if someone's in them. We have trailers, vehicles, vehicle trailer, more trucks, trailer, a little ATV machine there. Like, there's a lot going on at this property right now. We've got trailer here, another camper here. So there are three campers with the sides popped out and awnings out on this property. We have a roof now over this, what I thought looked like kind of like a shooting gallery. And now we get all the way up to February 2026. This is the most recent image I have. This camper has the side popped out, the stairs down, and somebody parked in front of it as if they're living in it. There's another camper behind it here. And there's another camper here with the side popped out and a vehicle in front of it. So there's a lot going on at this thing. And now we've got what looks like maybe storage containers. Do those look like storage containers to you? Out next to this building that now has a house on it? I mean, now has a roof on it? Those look like storage containers. I have no idea what it is they're doing with storage containers on the property, but that's what it looks like to me. And if that's not storage containers, I don't know what those are. I have no idea what those are. Now let's take a little side look here, and you can see that this building back here actually now has a side. It's no longer just a hole in the ground. It's built up. It's got some kind of large entrance here, a side entrance, a little smaller, like this is a human door. This looks like a shipping door or something. And you've got a roof on it. And again, this right here eventually will be cleared in the next couple of months, and there'll be shipping containers out in front of it. As we flip around, you can kind of get a better image of these new buildings they put out here. See, these look like houses, like a little, like got windows on it or something. So I don't know how many people are living on this property and what they're doing. And you can see these are your RVs over here. I bring all this up to say, this isn't how normal people live. This isn't how normal people live. Normal people don't live in places where their home is owned by a charity. Like, I have to pay my mortgage every month. I had to buy my house. I don't have a charity. A charity means someone donated to you to go do charitable things. Like, if I give money, say you have a pregnancy center and I give you $100, I expect you to spend that $100 either paying people to go into that building and meet with women in the community that need pregnancy services. Maybe you're going to take that $100 and you're going to buy children's clothes or something. I don't know. Maybe you're going to take that $100 and buy pregnancy tests or formula. Maybe take someone to the doctor if they need to go. Like, I want you to do something charitable with the $100 I gave you. What I don't want you to do with it is go buy the house of the person who lives there, who runs the charity. I don't want you to buy their house. Like that is a misuse of the charity to me. I don't think that's an appropriate use of the charity. If this was the only weird thing that Victor Marx had ever been involved in, you'd go, okay, well, that's weird. And maybe there's a perfectly reasonable explanation. Maybe he pays a chunk of rent every month. Maybe he's paying $7, $8. I mean, what would it cost you to rent $3 million house? Probably 15 grand a month, 12 grand a month, maybe. Maybe he's paying $15,000 a month in rent to the charity. Okay. That makes sense. Still think it's weird. It's a weird arrangement, but I can at least understand it. If you were to go out and buy a house and you put 20% down and you borrowed $2.4 million on a $3 million house, that might be your mortgage, 15 grand a month. I don't know, whatever that would come out to. But if he's living there rent free, and I don't know whether he is or not, it seems really improper to me. And it seems improper to me anyway, frankly. I don't think charities should be buying the residential homes of the person who runs the charity. Don't think that's a legitimate use of charitable funds. I also don't think flying all over the country on Gulfstream 5s is, but that's a different charity. So if that was the only weird thing that Victor Marx had been involved in, we might be able to chalk it up to, well, he's just weird with his property. Big deal. Not so fast, my friends. As we were looking at Victor Marx, Daisy had the bright idea. Let's just go look at all the domains that have ever been registered by Victor Marx. That might give us some idea of what kind of websites this guy runs. Maybe it'll give us idea of other places to look and kind of charities, maybe businesses. Great idea, Daisy. Let's do that. And so she did. And we came across this nice little list. We've got ATP Ministries. Well, that makes sense. All Things Possible Ministries. It would make sense that Victor Marx would have registered atpministries.com and .org. You want to make sure no one can steal your idea and go out there and raise money and act like they're you. Okay, fair enough. Fine. I allow it. Kichudo.org. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a martial art. All right, fine. You want to teach Kichudo? Great, go for it. I honestly didn't look it up. I have no idea what Kichudo is. Sounds like a martial art. Judo, Kichudo. Maybe you abbreviate that to kichu.com or .org. Kichu.org. All right. Way to go. Then we have a movie, Triggered, the movie. I think that's the biopic of Victor Marx. Great. No problem with that. If you're going to have a movie, you might as well buy the website. Perfectly acceptable. The .com, the .org, no problem with that. I think everyone should own their name to the extent possible. VictorMarx.net, VictorMarx.org, no problem with that. Clean, tidy, right? Not so fast, my friend. If that was the only thing, I wouldn't have shown you any of these. You're not going to believe what popped up on this. Victor may not even believe it. Let's go back and look one more time. Because the next one that popped up was viralbabes.net. And I thought that was a weird one. Viral Babes? I don't think he's talking about orphans. Maybe he is. Or maybe that's not really Victor Marx. Maybe that's someone else. Surely that's someone else. Our preacher, our spiritual mentor here, is surely not registering Viral Babes in his own name. Well, we had to know. We just had to know. So we pull the registration material for Viral Babes. And guess what comes up? Yeah. Victor Marx. Trust me. This email address, we left one little number here just so you'll know that we're not making it up. We verified this email address. If you saw the email address, you would know it's his, but I don't want to tell you what his email address is. I think this is a personal email address. But this is the registrant contact for viralbabes.net. Victor Marx. With this email, with this Gmail. And it's got the number 7. We just left that there so you'd know that when we pull this email here, it's the same Gmail address. We then go back and run a reverse on the Gmail address and we find this is, in fact, this same email address. Notice the 7. We have we've redacted this on purpose so as not to cause him trouble when you guys all go to email him. But trust me, if we were to unredact it, you guys would all go, oh, I get it. It would be a word there that's associated with Victor Marx. And the same with your email address. You'll see the 7 there at gmail.com. And when you hover over it, it says founder and CEO at All Things Possible Ministries. So this email address for viralbabes.net is the same email address that he uses for founder and CEO at All Things Possible Ministries, which is the same email address registered to viralbabes.net. Now, I could not find evidence that viralbabes.net was in operation. I have no idea why he bought it, or someone bought it in his name or used his email address. I don't know. I'm not, all I can say is these are facts. Like, if you run the source tools that we have access to, you would find that same information. Can I say, but Baron, are you suggesting Victor Marx got out a computer, typed his information into the keyboard, and purchased a website called viralbabes.net? Well, I'm suggesting those documents exist online and they're available for anyone who wants to go find them. I'm suggesting if you do run those same searches, you too will find out that that website was registered to a guy named Victor Marx, and it was registered to that email address that ends in 7 at gmail.com. And that if you run a reverse on that Gmail account, it will come up with founder and CEO at All Things Possible Ministries. I will suggest that's true. But I can't say for certain that Victor Marx got out a keyboard and started banging away at it and somehow purchased viralbabes.net. Maybe he was talking about children that had COVID or something, or children with HIV. He does a lot of work in Haiti. It's possible he's talking about little infants who were born with diseases. They're viral babes. That could be. I don't know that. Maybe there's someone else named Victor Marx who uses that same Gmail address. And maybe that other Victor Marx also runs a charity called All Things Possible Ministries, and he's also the founder and the CEO. That's possible as well. Maybe there's some sort of grand conspiracy that was launched back in 2017 to frame Victor Marx. And they thought one day Victor Marx might run for governor of Colorado. One day Victor Marx might be the first person to announce the death of an American treasure, a high-profile political assassination, and people might do some research on this Victor Marx. And one day, we're going to trap him. We're going to play the long game. We'll play the long game. We'll set up Victor Marx for something we don't even know, but someday some enterprising research will be done on this guy, and then we'll have him. We'll nail him to the wall. Possible. Ladies and gentlemen, it's possible. I have no idea why viralbabes.net comes up as Victor Marx's website. I have no idea if viralbabes.net has ever been active or used. I have no idea if it's talking about scantily clad women, if it's talking about children born with HIV or tuberculosis, some sort of virus. I don't know. Is tuberculosis a virus or a bacteria? Something. I can't tell you. Flu? I don't know. Maybe it's the flu virus babes. Children. But I can tell you that exists out there on the internet, and it's weird. It's weird. But I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacterium called the Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So I think we can safely say that it was not about tuberculosis. We've now, by process of elimination, ruled out that Viral Babes is about children born with tuberculosis. We've ruled that out. Everything else is still on the table, ladies and gentlemen. Everything else is still on the table. If you want to know about the 7, if you look at that and say, what was that 7 all about? Victor and Eileen run some business called VMX7 LLC. It's organized under the statutes of the great state of Colorado. It is registered to their address. And that 7, whatever VMX7 means, that 7 is consistent with what does VMX mean? That VMX is similar. I mean, that 7 is similar to what was in the email address. So maybe he's got a weird thing for the number 7. I don't know. And look, I'm not saying that I know anything about this guy. I don't know whether I have no idea what this guy does in his spare time. I have no idea what he does with all those buildings on his property. I have no idea if that property is worth $3 million. But I do know if you're running for the governor of a great state, that people have a right to look at your real estate transactions. They have a right to look at your website registrations. They have a right to look at your charity expenditures. They have a right to look at, are you quit claiming property back and forth out of trust and into charities? I mean, this is just routine background research that anyone would do on a political candidate. This doesn't even involve the fact that Victor Marx allegedly was the very first person to announce the death of Charlie Kirk, and he was there hugging on his widow the following day. So, I mean, this is just routine research that people should be doing on people who run for office. So, do I know why there are so many campers on this property? No. Can I venture a guess? Not really. People could live in them. Maybe he just likes to store stuff in them. Maybe he's got grown kids and they've come back home and they don't want to buy a house. Hey, put a camper out there. We got a camper. Go ahead and set up out back. Could be a million innocent explanations for it. Could be weird explanations. I don't venture a guess, nor do I want to venture a guess. I leave that up to you to decide. If he wants to answer, that's his business. I don't particularly care why he has campers on his property. What I care about is, though, why would you transfer a property that you bought for $400,000 for $3 million 10 years later? That seems excessive. But again, it may not be. May not be excessive at all. Victor might have improved the property up to $3 million. That might have been fair. Maybe he's paying rent on it. Who cares? Who knows? All right. But it reminds me of this. I once had a good friend of mine who called high-end nonprofits wealthy welfare. And I didn't quite understand what he was talking about. But after looking into TPUSA for the last several months, after looking at Victor Marx's organization, I'm starting to understand what they're talking about. Wealthy welfare. So when we think of welfare, when we think of people sucking off the taxpayer, in the 1980s and the 1990s, the Republicans came up with this phrase called welfare queens. And what a welfare queen was someone who didn't want to work. And they realized that if I have a couple kids, if I don't get a job, I'll get housing subsidies, I'll get food subsidies, I'll get some spending money subsidies, and I'll live an okay life. I won't starve to death. I'll have free health care. My kids will have free health care. Like everything's going to go swimmingly. And so the Republicans were calling them welfare queens. It was a way to motivate conservative voters to go out and vote against these people. You don't want to lose to the welfare queens, do you? I was having a discussion with a friend of mine, this is probably 10 or 15 years ago, and he said, these people working in nonprofits, these are also welfare queens, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, they don't pay taxes. Those are tax subsidied positions. And some of them pay pretty handsomely. And I thought, Last year, about 3 months before Charlie passed, I never wanted to disclose this conversation, but I'm going to. This was probably early summer of 2025. And I noticed Charlie was sort of changing on the one issue I disagreed with him the most about. And that's a famous change he's made. I'm not gonna comment on it. But I was talking to a friend of mine, a longtime friend, who was very connected politically, and he said, I'm curious why Charlie's doing this. It's going to cost him a lot of money. And I said, what do you mean by a lot of money? He goes, well, he probably makes $25 million a year right now. And I mean, I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, what are you talking about, $25 million a year? That's ludicrous. He runs a charity. He's like, brother, he writes books. He has a podcast. He sells advertising. He gets speaking fees. He does real estate deals. He's like, Charlie makes plenty of money. I was like, $25 million a year. He said, how much did you think he made? I thought maybe $1 million. Yeah, maybe he makes $250,000 from the charity. Maybe there's $750,000. He's like, buddy, he spends $5 million traveling. And I was like, that is ludicrous. What are you talking about? And he's like, I'm just telling you right now, I think he makes $25 million a year. I don't know if that's true. But that's what they're talking about with the wealthy welfare. That's what they're talking about with the wealthy welfare. You get involved in a charity. You run a charity. Victor Marx runs With God All Things Possible. They bring in $5, $6, $7 million a year, and it pays your expenses. It gets you around the country. It allows you to go do speaking gigs. It pays you a nice little salary. It apparently buys your house. I don't know. It produces a good little bit of income, and more importantly, it puts you in front of a lot of really rich people, which allows you to go on and do other things. Have access to business deals, private equity deals, real estate deals. It allows you access to a lot of power. And so I open up the news today and I see this article, and boy, it just reminded me of that conversation that I had with my friend about wealthy welfare. This is a year after USAID's death. Fired workers find few jobs and much loss. I want to scroll down to one particular person, and then we can come up and look at one of these other ones. This is Cheryl Cowan. Cheryl Cowan was making $272,000 a year as a senior vice president at a nonprofit. The nonprofit was funded by your tax dollars. It was a USAID funded nonprofit. USAID was if you guys weren't paying attention last year when Elon Musk ran Doge, when they shut down USAID, they fired like 30,000 people. I mean, there's a whole bunch of government workers got fired. And they stopped tens of billions of dollars in alleged charity money that was going out. USAID funded nonprofit was paying this 57-year-old woman $272,000 a year. Well, what's she worth on the open market? You would think someone who's worth $272,000 working at a charity would be worth maybe $272,000 working in the private sector, right? That's what you would think. Because you would think a charity would only pay people about what they're worth on the open market. You would think. Well, last month, she was let go at the end of March. That was over a year ago. Last month, she had an online interview for a $19 an hour job managing a spice store near her home in Falls Church, Virginia. I'll do a little math here. $19 an hour times 2,000 hours a year. That's $38,000 a year. I mean, it's not a terrible living, but it's like 9 times less than $272,000. Like, this woman was being paid 800% what she's worth on the open market. Her take-home pay would not cover her mortgage. But she said she was eager to do something other than spending down her savings and has applied for 60 jobs. She's been called back for an in-person interview. Aside from the salary, it would be fun. You should read this article. This article's fascinating. It exemplifies, it provides many examples of what my friend was talking about, wealthy welfare. And it reminded me of how TPUSA is run. These guys live in mansions. What is Tyler Boyer worth on the open market? I don't know. What is Mikey McCoy worth on the open market? What's a 23-year-old guy worth on the open market who's never gone to college? I mean, could he get I don't know what he makes. Let's say he makes 200. Could he make a job making 200,000? Would you hire a 23-year-old guy, no college education, 5 years work experience? Would you pay him that much? I don't know. What's his wife worth? What's Eliza worth on the open market? What's Erica Kirk worth on the open market? She didn't really have a job before becoming the CEO of Turning Point. What's Andrew Colvett worth? He did have a job, actually, believe it or not. But I start looking down the list of these people, and as I read this article, I thought, wealthy welfare. This is wealthy welfare. But it's worse with what's going on at TPUSA and some of these other organizations because they're not just making their salary. A lot of these people are working on a podcast. They're writing books. They're doing all this other stuff. It's my contention. If you capped nonprofit salaries, if you said, hey, you can go work at a nonprofit, we're going to allow you to work for a company that does not pay taxes. Now, if you went to work for a data analytics company, if you went to work for an investment bank, if you went to work for a hospital, if you, assuming it's a for-profit hospital, if you went to work for, anything, any other entity, a private entity, that entity would be paying taxes on their profits. If that business made $10 million a year, they would pay taxes on that $10 million, not revenue, profit. And they'd have to compete in the marketplace. People just can't hand them money. There's no tax write-off for handing you money. So if we capped these people's incomes, if we said, Tyler Boyer, you can work at TPUSA, but you can only make double, 200% the median salary of an American. And you're not allowed to make any more money. You can't have outside income. That's the rule. If you're going to work at a nonprofit, in order for the nonprofit to have nonprofit status, they can't overpay their employees. So let's look real quickly. Median salary, America. The median salary right now, that's average. Well, we'll say average. The average salary right now, $64,000 a year. That's average across all things. So you can make double that. You can make $128,000 a year. That's a good salary. That's 10 grand a month. You can make 10 grand a month. But in order for your entity to maintain its nonprofit status, and for people to get nonprofit, to not have to pay taxes on the donations to your business, in order for that to be true, you cannot pay a single person there more than double the median salary, and they can't make any outside income. Not like they can make passive income, I guess. Like if they invested, they could draw dividends. But they can't go out and make speaking fees. They can't go out and earn money. They can't sell books and stuff like that. I think what you would find is a lot of these people would not be as charitable. They would lose their philanthropic spirit very quickly. Because when you have a situation like exists in Person After Person in this New York Times article, where Cheryl Cowan was making $272,000 a year, but then she gets fired and realizes she's only worth $38,000 a year. When you go to Alicia Beyer here, who worked for 25 years as a USAID contractor to run reproductive health programs in Africa, why that's a mission of the United States, I'll never understand. When you go to Courtney Blake, who was working in Geneva's USAID's Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance, why? Or Don Niss, who spent 21 years at USAID, making $195,000, more than 300% the median salary here in the United States. And it's just littered with people like this article is just littered with these people, with their stories and everything else. This one making $127,000 a year. When they shut it down, an estimated 280,000 contractors, partners, and local hires worldwide lost their jobs. That was your tax money supporting 300,000 people to carve it up for wealthy welfare. That's all they were doing. And I just think we got to get a hold of this. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about the number of nonprofits in America. And I think the year they started the nonprofit rule, there were like 20 or 30,000 of them. There's almost 2 million nonprofits now in the world, in America, just in America. I think that number. Yeah, 1.9 million nonprofits in the United States. Out of control. Out of control. Out of control. 1.5 million of them are 501c3s, meaning they don't pay taxes. Meaning people who donate to them, they don't pay taxes. So if I give you $100, I don't pay taxes on that $100. That's untaxed money, which means all of you have to work harder to pay the money I would have otherwise paid in taxes so that we can go build bombs and bomb brown people. Because that's what we do in the United States with tax money. For the last 30 years, that's been our mission. That's our primary expenditures, to bomb brown people. I kid, ladies and gentlemen. Sort of. But we've got to get it under control. And here's the problem. We have to stop elevating these people as heroes. We have to call them what they are, welfare queens. These are welfare queens. Every time these people get on a Gulfstream 5 and fly across the country and you're subsidizing it, you go to work, your business pays taxes, you pay income taxes on everything you make so that people who donate to them don't have to pay taxes. And if they turn a profit, they don't have to pay taxes. Every time that happens, we need to name them and shame them. We need to stop giving them standing ovations when they go and speak. They're getting rich off of our tax money. We have to start calling them what they are. Welfare queens. Erica Kirk is a welfare queen. She is a welfare queen. So's Tyler Boyer. So's Andrew Colvette. So's Mikey McCoy. Welfare queens. Some of them, queen is probably a very apt description. But we have to stop treating these people as heroes. Go get a real job. Stop sucking off the system. I've been working for 20 years. I don't work for nonprofits. Every business I've worked for had to pay money, had to pay the government. If somebody paid me, they'd already paid taxes on that money. If somebody wanted to buy a good or a service, if they said, hey, can you come do this for me? Yeah, I'll be happy to do that for you. They said, great. And then if they paid me $100 to do it, they'd already paid taxes on that money, meaning they had to earn like $150, $180 at their job, pay taxes on it, have 100 left and pay it to me, then I would get it. I would pay taxes on it. The system just goes on. And then we have welfare queens, and none of us were known. No one knew who we were. But then we have these welfare queens, and they stand up on stages, and everyone's like, yay, you're such a hero. Yay, look at you. Yay. No, you're a leech. You're a leech on society. You guys aren't like, if you run a nonprofit hospital, if you run a school, you're educating kids, you're saving lives, great. I'm all in favor of that. You are a hero. People probably aren't showing up to hear you speak. They're probably not lining up to have you lecture them. They're probably not giving you a standing ovation when you walk in, even though you're saving actual friggin' lives on a daily basis because of the goods and services you provide. And you pay taxes on it, and the people who pay you for those services, they pay taxes on it. I'm so sick of these welfare queens lecturing me. I'm sick of all the ones on the payroll of the welfare queens lecturing me. I think X should start putting paid promotion every time Brandon Tatum launches under some defense of TPUSA, if indeed he still is being paid by TPUSA. That's a sponsorship, baby. Same thing with whatever the girl is, the prima donna. I can't even think of her name anymore. Alex, maybe? Whatever her name is. Every single time these people post on X in support of TPUSA, it should say paid promotion at the bottom. It's an advertisement. These people are on the payroll of a freaking nonprofit. I think Brandon Tatum still is. He was making $20,000 a month from them, I think, at one point. That's just one of his gigs. He's a welfare queen. Why are we lauding these people? Why are we attacking then Candace, who pays taxes, brings in money that is taxed already before she gets it? There's no nonprofit paying her that I'm aware of. Why are you attacking me? Why are you attacking Tucker Carlson? We're supported by people who give us money that they've paid taxes on. I don't have a nonprofit foundation. Boy, wouldn't that be nice? If I said, whoa, don't give me that. Funnel your money through this nonprofit, and then I'll take it out of it. You'll get a nonprofit receipt from me at the end of the year for everything you give me. If it makes a little extra money at the end of the year, I'll just pay myself a salary, and I'll just let the money continue to compound for years, nonprofit, non-tax free. What a scam that would be. I would feel like a total scumbag if that was my life. Welfare queens, all of them, every one of them. Go get a real job. Now, I am not going after you people who work at actual charities, real charities. For example, the one I talked about the other day on my show, I think it was maybe the members show. I talked about a pregnancy crisis center I used to work at. Our director made $32,000 a year. I knew I was only going to be president of the board for 2 years, and my goal was to raise enough money to get our director, up to $40,000 a year. That was my goal. And we made phone calls, and we had meetings, and we scraped and scrimped so that we could get an extra $8,000 together to pay our director, who probably worked like 3,000 hours a year in that nonprofit. I'm not talking about her. She's doing an actual thing. She's not just driving around lecturing people. She's not running a political operation under the guise of a nonprofit. They're not running guns. They're not running women. They're just handing out baby formula in onesies and giving pregnancy tests and talking women into not aborting their children. Like this, that's a charity. That's an actual charity doing actual charitable things. I'm just sick of it, guys. I'm sick of the game that's being played. I'm sick of the gaslighting, the constant gaslighting that's all in our face constantly. Every time you turn around, you have some nonprofit worker yelling at me, a taxpayer, yelling at Candace, a taxpayer, yelling at Coach Colin, a taxpayer, yelling at Danks, a taxpayer, yelling at Zach, Gregorio, whatever his name is, a taxpayer. Sending out cease and desist letters, sending out threats, saying bad mouth. Welfare queens. Last night, X was just eating up with these people. Look at Erica. She got a standing ovation. Yeah, I watched the people go down the aisles telling them, stand up. And not only that, it's just polite. Like when the keynote speaker gets there, you stand up and clap. That's polite. But there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe she gave a great speech. I did notice. Andrew, shout out. Andrew Colvette. Don't think I didn't notice. I watched the speech, Andrew. I saw how hard she fought the uptalk. I'm proud of you. Andrew. You were watching. I offered to do it for $5 million. I ended up doing it for free because it needed to be done. She was fighting it too. Oh, my goodness, if you watch that speech. She would slip into it every now and then you could see her like, don't uptalk. And she was like, consider it joy. I didn't uptalk. Okay. When your name is slandered, don't stop uptalking. Consider it joy. When they talk bad about you, consider it joy. I didn't uptalk. Did you see that? Consider it joy. It was a great speech. Welfare queen. All of them. Across the board. I'm done lauding these welfare queens that make millions of dollars a year that live in mansions when average people are out there struggling to get by. Tired of it. $5 gas, $5 gallon of milk. Hopeless. I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I can't stand it. And yes, Victor Marx is a welfare queen. He's a welfare queen. Living on this charity. And if I'm right, if as the evidence suggests, the charity actually owns the house he lives in, welfare queen. Cutting him a $100,000 check every year, welfare queen. Sorry, guys. It's wealthy welfare. That's all it is. These people are not worth this amount on the open market. They're just not. They're just not. I, for one, propose capping the amount of money a human being can make if they're going to work at a charity and the charity keep its nonprofit status. We do this all the time. Your charity is not allowed to do certain things. Unrelated business income, if you get too much of it, you're no longer able to call yourself a charity. People can't donate to you tax-free, and you have to pay taxes on your revenue, on your profits. We do this with, supposedly with politics. You're not allowed to endorse candidates. They do it all the time, apparently at TPUSA. But normal charities, if you're out there endorsing candidates, you're going to lose your nonprofit status. So we put all these limitations on it all the time. Why not another limitation? No one that works for you can make more than $128,000 a year, period, in earned income. If they make more than that, you lose your nonprofit status. So get it through their thick welfare queen heads. Again, I'm not attacking people who work at real charities. I'm attacking this criminal subsidy that I feel like is criminal. In my opinion, I use criminal not in the breaking the law. I'm using criminal in the sense of the very figurative sense that it feels wrong. It's grimy. It's disgusting to me. And I mean, I'm not even talking about Viral Babes. If you want to open a website called Viral Babes, that's your business. I'm not even really going after that. That was just poking a little fun, having a little fun. If that is indeed his, that's fun to me. That was funny. Selling your property to your charity, that's not funny to me. Putting $3 million in a trust that shares a P.O. box that looks like it's maybe supporting you and your family, that's not funny to me. That's not funny to me. All right, guys. Don't forget to like the video. I know the opening tells you or asks you politely to like the video. Look, YouTube has its own economy. It costs you nothing, but the likes are very valuable. So please like the video. Subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, and 20-something% of you last night that watched the video, not subscribers. No reason for that. Hit the subscribe button. It looks like there's a lot of grumblings here that Kash Patel may be on the way out. This will be interesting if this is true. So we'll stay tuned on that. I will be back tomorrow. I will have Trigger Smart on tomorrow for the member show. So Trigger Smart will be joining me. I don't think we've come up with a time, but usually I do them around 1 o'clock on Friday. Have no idea how long he'll be able to join us, but I like Trigger Smart a lot. I think he's very smart, does a lot of really cool stories. And he helped me a great deal get my camera set up. He helped me a ton get the camera set up. So we have a ton of fun on the member show. He said, "What do you want to talk about?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? If you never watched my member show, we don't have a agenda. We just talk." I said, "I'll probably ask you where you came from, and then we'll just go. We'll see where we go. We may go to the moon. We may go to the bottom of the ocean. We may talk. I don't know, man. We're just going to have a good time. We're going to have some fun." Not a welfare queen, a hardworking guy, works hard for a living. So Trigger Smart will be on with me tomorrow for the members show, and then Sunday night be back for a regular Sunday night show, probably 5 or 6 p.m. Let me, with your permission, ladies and gentlemen, let me get through some of your comments here. Grumblers, I got some Grumble merch up on the website. It's there. Let me show you this real quick. This is great. You guys are now official Grumblers. We got some new high IQ outfits. Let me show you these real quick. So we've got, this is a cool shirt right here. It's got a whole bunch of Baronisms on the back of it. I'll show you here. Just Baronisms, a noun. And then here's some examples, right? So we got some good Baronisms there on that. We have a certified grumbler shirt for you certified grumblers. You guys are real people. We got a little bull butter shirt going on here. A lot of fun there. So there's just there's some new merch up there. You got to go on there and check it out. We got a hat. People had wanted a hat. So we got a hat. We got a high IQ outfit hat. We've got an RBP hat. We've got a trucker hat for those of you who wanted a vented cap. There's, of course, the water bottle. Christ is King. This is my favorite one. Christ is King indeed. And on the back, Jesus loves you. So a lot of fun shirts up. A lot of fun merch. If you want to check it out, realbaronpodcast.com. realbaronpodcast.com. Grumblers, don't act like I don't love you. You got your own shirt now. Your own line of merch. Have I looked into the Why Refi group yet? I find the timing a bit peculiar. Almost as if the J.E. blackmail model were replaced with this model. I don't know what that means. I've looked into him only a little bit. Buenos noches, Baron, desde Paraguay. I am not from Paraguay. I, your humble host, am from Tennessee. Soy norteamericano. Yes, sir. You're popular in the heart of South America, too. I had no idea we were so huge in Paraguay. Isn't that where the Bushes bought a bunch of land, or was that Uruguay? It's down there somewhere. They bought like a bunch of land, sitting on a bunch of fresh water, too. Don't say I didn't warn you about those. Thank you. B, congrats on 100 and top 50 regarding my last super chat. I'm still stuck. He walks once in maroon. Correct. Around 10 o'clock, I think. And twice in black outfit. I don't think he walks twice in a black outfit. I think it's just once, around 11:50. Black one close to driveway at 11:50. Okay, cool. Shadow test. Black number 2 with heavier lip. No, I think that's the same one. See, that's your confusion. I think it's the same one. I think the heavy limp was about 11:50. What time was it after the Big Bang? Limp from roof fall. No, I think it was just the one time. I don't believe there was a second one. There's one of him going the other way behind the houses that's captured on that same camera, if that's what you're talking about. I hope that was able to clear it up, Tara. Thank you. Hello from Ontario. Have you uncovered any updates on the Children of God lead relating to EK? Such a cliffhanger ending to one of Candace's episodes. Believe it or not, yes, but not anything I feel comfortable reporting. And not because I'm uncomfortable with the story, but because I don't have it nailed down enough to report. But I do have a little additional information, and maybe one day it'll come together to be a story. But right now, it would just be too speculative and too piecemeal. I don't think it would make a good story. I'm here. Makes me so happy. Thanks, Adfleet. Adfleet's fantastic. The author of the opening statement. Not the opening statement. The author of the opening theme song. The identity of Jesus is truth. He's called the Word. Logos. When someone comes to you and to clarify scripture, oh my God, I'm not going to, guys, let me be as real as I can with this. If you want to argue theology with me, if you want to ask my opinion, I will give it to you. If you want to argue with me, watch something else. I am not going to argue with you about scripture. I am not going to argue with you. This is not a theology apologetics podcast. It's just not. So if you are curious, my opinion on scripture, great. I'm not curious on yours. I'm just not. I'm not. I don't care. Does that make me a bad person? Whatever. I don't care. Don't argue with me about scripture. I don't care. This show would go off the rails if you guys, every person who had a different opinion on scripture, all 30,000 different denominations, all wanted to weigh in every day, the show would be a disaster. And I'm not going to entertain it. So go away. Leave. I promise you the community will be better for it. Loved you on Zach's show. Have you ever read the book, The Secret History of the World by Jonathan Black? If so, thoughts? I have not. I apologize for getting mad, but this is like the third super chat this guy has spent to tell me I'm wrong about something. I don't care. My theology is in line with the catechism. If the catechism is wrong, I will get to heaven and I'll beg God, please, let me in. Let me in just like you let in millennia worth of people who could not read. They were illiterate. There was no Bible in their community because the printing press wasn't invented. And they just had to trust what the guy at the local church said. And if it wasn't enough, they didn't, what, you're going to let, no, the local guy was wrong. You're going to hell. I mean, that's not the God I follow, bub. Sorry. It's just not. Hi, Baron. Please say hello to my 6-month-old grandson, Salem. Hola, Salim. He finds your voice soothing. He listens to you when we put him down for naps. He's going to be a brilliant kid. A little angry at times, but brilliant and with a great sense of humor. Finally got to the live early. To be honest, even though I'm usually late, I'll still rewind to the beginning just to hear the intro. Bear, the Real Baron Podcast. Ba 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 ba. I love that. I love it. Can't help it. Wouldn't it be wild if Candace has the SUV that Charlie was in? Like she bought it? I mean, that would be wild, but I don't believe that's accurate. In no particular order, you, Candace, and Tucker are leaps and bounds above anyone else. I love Kentucky. Kentucky? Are you talking about Kentucky? Kentucky's fine. Kentucky's fine. I will allow it, Haley. Love from the BBN. Go blue people. Your chat with Zach was awesome. Thank you for sharing your story. Romans 5, 3-5. Got it. Thank you. I have a question about last night. Is it possible to find out who purchased the car that transported Charlie? And maybe there are still some of those fragments in the track of the seat in front. Well, that is what a commenter a couple people ago thought might have been the case with our principal. I don't believe that's true, but so be it. So be it. Love you, Baron. Thank you. Been chuckling since last night's supers. From now on, when I meet someone, I'll just say 6X Dawn here. I'm a big bone Texas gal. So please excuse my knuckles. Bless you and this group. Christ is King. Don, I have an update for you. Unfortunately, 2X is as large as the V cut is made. So the V-neck T-shirt only goes to 2X. The recommendation was if you need up a larger size than that, you just have to go to the unisex tee. So I can't force them to offer a size they don't offer. But that's your update. Thank you for your prayers. I shared when I was 4 weeks pregnant. I'm officially 12 weeks. Baby's healthy and everything is good. Please keep praying. A war darn eagle. I certainly will do that. Glad to hear the good news. Thanks for the update. Did you see this? Another TPUSA kid came about leaving them. Letters Wild. Let me react is his YouTube video. I have not seen that. I saw the UGA president's letter, but I've not seen another person, unless that's the one you're talking about. Baron, you're incredible at what you do. Your use of mode casually last episode cracked me up. I haven't pulled that since 6th grade math. Thanks for the effort and passion. We all appreciate it. I don't remember saying it, if that makes you feel better. What the hell was I talking about the mode for? I don't know. Did I talk about the range too? The range and the mode and the median and the mean? I remember all those. I've been here since Google Trend Days from the UK. Love how much your podcast is growing. Thinking of converting to Catholic because you and Candace currently Church of England. Sammy, I heard recently there are now, for the first time, I think, since the 1600s, more Catholics in England than members of the Church of England. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I read. That shocked me when I saw it. I didn't think that was the case. King Baron, big love from this North Central West Virginia mama of 5. My favorite podcaster and only show I'd pay to be a member. Love this high IQ community. Christ is King. Love you and the crew. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Skaggle. J. Skaggle. Thank you. Baron, I have a feeling the JE files equals limited hangout. Oh, I guarantee you that's a limited hangout. I guarantee you it's a limited hangout. They love that let me just pause here after the first sentence. I'll come back. They love that we act like JE was running the entire operation. He was a middle manager at best. He was not running anything. This guy was in terms of McDonald's, he was a shift manager. He was a shift manager. He didn't even run the store. He didn't even run the front of the house or the back of the house. Like there are layers on layers and layers above that guy. And they just love it when we act like he was running this operation. No. He was a shift manager on one little portion of one little piece of the global demonic enterprise. And his operation went away, and they redistributed it out to other places. But he is not the guy. Top 50. So deserved for an intelligent, intellectually stimulating, humble show. Your team's dedication to the truth is incredibly special. Thank you. Very kind of you. Does Mrs. Coleman subscribe to the conspiracies you do? A lot of them, I think. We talk about them. Yeah, I don't want to say much more than that. But yeah, we do talk about them. I mean, occasionally I may say something. She's like, "Are you sure about that? That doesn't sound right." But it's not very often. Not very often. Congrats on ending the top 50. Thank you. First chat after watching for a long time. I work a lot, and when I see you're on, I used to fast forward till you start to talk. I love the ad fleet intro. Please leave it in. Love your content. Christ is king. I will. I've left it in so that it's on the Clips channel. Anyone can go access it anytime. I am going to continue to clip it off of the individual shows because it hurts the distribution. Meaning, when you have a countdown timer, YouTube really frowns on that when it's pushing your show out after you upload it. So that's a inside tip for those of you who don't trim that out after your live shows. Trim it out. There's a reason a lot of the bigger shows trim it out. It hurts your distribution. So I am going to try. I did leave it in a couple, and the distribution was pounded. If you go back and look at the last two shows, they're lower. But AdFleet did such a great job. I wanted people to be able to see it. I wanted everyone who watched for the first couple of days to see it, give her the props and all that kind of stuff. But I am going to continue trimming it out just for the health of the program. Thank you. Christ is king indeed. I've been here since Lanyard Guy. Man, I forgot about Lanyard Guy. Lanyard Guy turned out to be Charles McClintock Wilson. I didn't know his name at the time. First super chat, wanted to compliment your evolution. I watched a few trends videos today, and you have noticeably polished your prezzo. Okay, bye. Thank you for that first super chat. Yeah, I think just going to daily gets you back into the swing of things. Like I broadcasted daily on radio for a long time, and then when I dropped down to weekly, just doing one podcast a week, you lose a little. It's like playing golf, you know. You don't do as well when you only play golf once a week as playing 4 or 5 days a week. That's why I don't play golf. I'm not very good at it. Can't seem to grasp how a handful of large men fit into that SUV. It's a big SUV. It was a big old Yukon, Denali. Seeing those bucket seats broke my heart. They just stuffed them in. That was tough to watch. Praying for all the truth seekers solving this case. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Thanks for not reading advertisements. You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I got contacted yesterday by another advertiser. I turned down a lot of them, and it's not patting myself on the back. It's just I don't want to change the dynamics of the show, and it's not to knock people that do it. I mean, I know Tucker reads ads and Candace reads ads. I understand why they do it, but they also don't spend an hour and a half or 2 hours reading super chats. And to me, I'd rather do that. Like it'd be a lot easier on me, frankly, to do an hour and a half show, do 3 ad reads, and probably make 3 times as much as you'd make doing super chats. But the community, to me, this is community building time. And so it's just everybody runs a different show. But thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. And the update on Mrs. Coleman doing a show. Got even more excited when you mentioned she's a doula. Had all 3 of my kids at home, and doulas are saints. She is a saint. Saint Mrs. Coleman. In waiting. An update on her doing a show. So I kind of put it to her the other day, and I'll get her in here at some point. We'll do a show. In EK's speech for DJT, she said, "We're raising our children here," referring to Arizona. She didn't mention Charlie in past tense. Odd. Are the kids his? I assume they are. I honestly don't know, but I've never seen a DNA test, but the law would presume they are, because when you have children born in wedlock, the husband is considered the father. It's putative paternity is what it's called in the law. He's the putative father at the very least. I would assume he's the father, but I wasn't there when they were conceived. I can assure you that. Thankfully. Wouldn't that be weird? Don't mind me, guys. Just documenting for future reference, in case someone asks. have at it. By all means, move. That's a Tombstone quote. Maybe they loaded small explosive with previous fired bullet shards to back up shot theory, went wrong, and it dispersed into shirt, falling out in car. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Integrity matters. I respect how you and Daisy thoughtfully defend others when defending the truth. I'm sad that many can't see it. Thankful for y'all. Jesus sees truth tellers and he remembers. So on that, I don't like getting into people's drama. Like, I know a lot of these creators like to fight with each other. That's not my personality. I'm not getting involved in it. My philosophy is I'm friends with all of them. Like, if you directly attack me, that's different. But even then, I'm probably going to be friends with you if the attack seems uninformed, like you just heard bad information. I'm probably going to let you go. If it turns vicious, that's different. Then I don't like you anymore. But until then, like even Gary, I honestly don't have that big of a problem with Gary. I think he's misinformed. I think he has been lied to a lot, but whatever. That's his business. He's doing his show. I'll do mine. But thank you. I'm thankful for you. Thank you. What does impact the trial if CK was cremated and car was sold before collecting evidence? Would this guarantee a guilty verdict for TR? No, I don't think so. I mean, if I'm the defense, I'm jumping up and down over the paving over the scene and the selling the car. And if any of Charlie's clothing's missing, I mean, I'm throwing an absolute hissy fit about it. And I'm asking the judge to instruct the jury that they're allowed to consider that evidence would have exonerated my client when they're considering reasonable doubt. I really appreciate your high IQ content, your humor, and your no swearing show. Sometimes a clip will actually come in and swearing will happen, but I try to avoid it. I actually didn't play a clip today that I wanted to play because it had the S word in it. Hi, Baron. DJT made a really big deal out of the JFK files being released during his most recent run. Do you think he could have been threatened to be JFK'd and could be why he has become a sellout? That could have been. Yeah, I'm very disappointed we don't have the JFK files. I want the Martin Luther King files. I want the RFK files. I want the JFK files. I want to see the aliens. I mean, Brent, put them all out there. I want to see the Charlie Kirk files. I want to see the JE files. Transparency, baby. The best policy. Put it all out there. Let's read it. See what we got. You promised you would. And now we have the web.io, Ian Carroll's brainchild. And we can go in there and we can upload the documents and we can start scanning around. And thank you for raging at AK yesterday. Yeah, I felt bad about that, but thank you for saying that. I quit listening to Marx when his daughter went on Facebook and said he was harming her. I think it was around the time of that trafficking movie. I honestly, of all the stuff I've looked into on Marx, I've not looked into that at all. So I have nothing to weigh in on that. I think I heard maybe she recanted, but I honestly don't know. I don't know the story. Not sure how to get you. Been desperately trying to share on TikTok. Oh, I'm not on TikTok. You'll never catch me there. I don't even have the app downloaded. I'm anti-TikTokite. I'm an anti-tickite. Anti-talkite might actually sound better. Einstein was curator of directed evolution to try and live forever by controlling consciousness via genetics, biohybrid vessels, future of Charlie GPT. I believe you, but if it's on TikTok, I don't care. Congrats for the top 50. If Tyler was to Einstein himself, how should we, the public, react? Obviously, be very disappointed, and it'd be a tragic circumstance. I don't know what else we should do. I mean, we're not storming the gates of the Bastille, if that's true. Everyone is wondering why Victor was the first to know Charlie was dead. My theory is Erica was called while she was with her mom getting treatment. Erica's mom called Victor right away. That's why he knew so fast. But why? That would assume Erica was with her mom getting treatment, and I don't believe that's accurate. So that would blow that theory out of the water if I'm right. Thank you, Coach. The Coach. Hey, Cousin Baron. I've been here so long, I feel like we're family. Thank you for your intellectual honesty and infectious humor. I love hanging out with you. Keep going, Max. Jesus Christ is King indeed. Cousin Angel, thank you. Scary opening statement. I thought so. I was surprised nobody reacted to it. Am I just now getting to the time when it ended? Reminded me of the 80s childhood nuclear drills where we got under our desks, even as kids. We knew that wouldn't help at all. Yeah, but you got to do something. You can't just say, sit there and take it, right? You know, let people know you think you're in charge. First super chat, love the RBP. Watching live is the best. Your research and preparation, chef's kiss. Oh, and Victor Marx gives me the ick. Go Max, not Marx. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I'm sure I don't know, man. When he ripped his eyeglasses off, I was like, well, hello. That was a little weird. If we're being honest, that was a little weird. Like, don't do that. Don't do that in public. Don't do that in private. Don't do that to your wife. Just get that out of the golf bag. Like, that's not in the arsenal. We're not doing the hello business. Yeah, don't say that to anybody. I don't care if you've been married 50 years. You're like 75 years old. You're retired. You're getting ready to go to Walmart with your beloved. You're down to one car. You got the grand puppies coming over later. Don't take your glasses off. Look at your bride of 50 years and go, well, hello. She's got every right to divorce you. I think the church will grant an annulment on those grounds. I kid. He means he's taking children into countries we never hear news from for the Adreno and hunting. I hope not. CYM files. I don't know what that is. Haiti is cursed, as is so no surprise. I'll say this. We used to live in South Florida. There were a lot of Haitians down there. I loved them. They were the kindest people, at least the ones I encountered. Very kind people, very happy to be in America. I have no idea what their legal status was. I didn't ask. I don't know if we had some deal with Haiti where we allowed people to come and go. I honestly didn't ask. I didn't know, but the ones I met were great. But I do hear they have a lot of trouble there on the island itself. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Colonel. Like Colonel like a corn, not Colonel like the Navy. TP is lying about what happened to Baylor. It was always a student-faculty event. TP sold tickets to randos. Baylor didn't allow randos. TP threw Baylor under the bus. 436 tickets scam. LOL. So my take on that was a little different. Your keynote speaker just canceled an event at a university last week, citing serious security risks. I think it makes perfect sense for Baylor to say, well, we're not letting anyone random on campus. Not in this building anyway. This building is only for students and faculty. That makes perfect sense to me. And if you don't want that, don't cry wolf. Don't cry wolf if you want randos in your room. Baron, congrats on top 50 podcast. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Short coin. Short coin's a great comment. Baron, let's be honest, my friend. Bill Clinton never misplaced a biscuit. Or a cigar. Is there any way to crowdfund a reasonable defense team for Tyler? His public pretender attorney is part of the setup. No, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I don't think they've done a terrible job so far. I mean, maybe they could have done better, but it's very early, guys. Very early. What would it cost to defend Tyler? Let's say a team of 4 attorneys, death penalty case, privately funded. $4 million. You're going to crowdfund that? I can't help you. I mean, I got 5 on it. Hey, Baron, please explain how political candidates can launder huge amounts of money during a campaign for office. I'm not going to do it. I would just like to understand how these scumbags pull it off. Oh, it's easy. Your books aren't going to be audited in all likelihood. Campaign money just kind of flows. So you raise $1 million. Let's just use round numbers. And you're going to spend $400,000 on advertising. So you give the $400,000 and you call it advertising. No one has any clue where that money went. Then you're going to spend $200,000 on printed materials. You spend $200,000, you call it printed materials. You have no idea where that money went. Then you get your consultant class. You're going to spend $300,000 on consultants. No one has any idea where that money went. You pull the reports. Looks like legitimate expenditures. Oh, you bought some advertising, some printed materials, and some consultants. Oh, and they bought a few meals, and you have no idea where that money went, particularly the money that went to consultants. No idea. Those could be your buddies, your nephews, your brother-in-law, your son. You have no idea who works at these companies, what they're doing. You have no idea who the subcontractors are that are involved. It's a money laundering fest. I'm not accusing every campaign of that or any particular organization, but it happens. I've seen it with my own 2 peepers. Weren't there Egyptian planes or TPUSA planes that flew to from Colorado Springs, where Victor Marx is from? Egyptian planes? No, I don't believe so. There were a couple of government planes, a SAM 000 flight, a SAM 702 flight. Those both flew into Colorado Springs. TPUSA planes? I honestly don't remember. I'd have to look that up. I don't remember that. I'd have to check that out. Thank you, Amber. Follow up. Oh, I thought F up meant something different. I was like, I'm not saying that out loud. Follow up. Goal is achievable immortality with Einstein belief that consciousness, genetics are the same. Use biohybrid vessels grown with brain. Charlie Kirk Korea trip was for 360 biometric digital twin scan and resurrection. Chris Bledsoe is a psyop. I mean, if all that's true, that's way above my pay grade. That is a level of conspiring I haven't even considered. I may have missed something, but what's the beef with Blake B? He and others are saying it's sketchy. You and Candace redacted the car photos. Was it protecting the reflection of who took it? I'm confused why he's so upset. I don't care. I mean, I like Blake just fine, but I don't care. Like, the redactions weren't sketchy. They hid nothing, and they served a purpose. And that's all I'm going to say. You guys want information, you got to take it with the limitations that it comes with. Otherwise, we can't share stuff with you. So if people are going to throw panic fit, then they can't have it. Period. Amber, thank you. Crisis King, continue to be a vessel. Indeed. Continue to be a vessel. Much respect to you, bro. Also want to say the Iran-Contra affair played a role in the crack epidemic in the 90s. CIA was supplying cocaine to Freeway Rick Ross. That's according to Freeway Rick Ross, and I believe him. I think I need a hoodie. This is Holy Mackerel in huge font. Actually, this is a must-have. Please give us moms an amazing Mother's Day gift this year. Maybe that'll be on the next round. We've got our rollout today. I'm not putting any more work on Nurse Casey. Getting that stuff out is not easy. So we'll deal with what we got, and then we'll take some additional requests next round, a couple weeks maybe. Didn't Lori F's clarity change the same way? Oh, charity. Change what way? I don't remember. Crisis King indeed. JD and Kirk, no way. I agree. Judge just identified Erica Kirk as the victim requesting speedy trial. That was months ago. And the defense responded perhaps she, through her attorney, could request the Fed release the documents so that the case may proceed. They did. Final follow-up, just in case. They are digitally resurrecting Charlie Kirk, and Charlie GPT is only a soft launch. Is there a Charlie GPT? I have no idea what you're talking about. Biohybrid being tested via Dream City Church right now. Look into the new Albanian AI cabinet girl and sovereign ruler. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably not going to. I've got a lot on my plate, and that sounds wild. I'll leave other people up to that. And if they let me know what they find, I will be happy to review it. Mass shooting at Mall of Louisiana today. I saw that. It was like at 1 o'clock this afternoon. I even got out ADSB Exchange and looked for all the planes flying over because I'm weird like that. Pray for the injured bystanders. 5 arrested, 1 deceased, mostly teens. Yeah, as soon as they said it was a food court, I just figured it was a fight that got out of hand. But maybe I was wrong. Baron, merch please. T-shirt with I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Maybe we'll make a night-night T-shirt that says that. Like a nightgown that says I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. That'd be funny. And some pajamas. Aussie fan of yours, Baron. Love your honesty, intellect, integrity, and authenticity. Please pray for my brother. He lost his young son to cancer last month, and now his wife is leaving him. Oh, my goodness. My heart breaks. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. I certainly will. Louise, pray for your brother. Thank you. It's not gatekeeping, guys. It's like, let me ask you a question. If someone hands you a document, and they say, you're free to put this out, but there's one line on here you have to redact, and you can provide no explanation why you're redacting it. Would I rather you put that out and you just say, hey, the limitation on me releasing this was I had to redact this line. I can't tell you what it says. I can't tell you why it was redacted. But the rest of it has valuable information. So I hope you enjoy it. Is that gatekeeping? Or is that being responsible journalist, Shane, and respecting your source? There's a difference there. Especially if you look at it and you tell me, hey, if you trust me and you watch let's say I'm a big Shane fan. I watch Shane all the time. And you watch Shane. And I say, I trust Shane. And if Shane tells me that redaction is not affecting the investigation and there's a legitimate explanation for it, I'm going to go with it. And I'm thankful he released the rest of it. Some people can't have nice things. That's all I can say. All I can say. You don't like it? There are plenty of other broadcasts out there that aren't releasing jack squat. Go watch them. Go watch them. You don't want to look at pictures? Don't watch. Go watch something else. But I'm not going to be chastised by somebody who's upset that we're releasing incredibly high resolution images to review because the source requested we redact certain portions of it for whatever reason. And and hopefully you trust me that those redactions are reasonable and that they don't hide anything. And if you don't like it, don't watch. Go watch somebody else who doesn't release any information. Go watch somebody who has no pictures, who has no sources, who just rambles, and have fun and enjoy your podcast experience. Hold, please. Did I just hear you say the future of humanity comes down to a few PEADs? Stop, just stop. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. My uncle's name is William Billy Howard Bernard. He has a daughter whose name is Brianna. Lived and died in an odd crash in 2018 in Louisiana. I can email you his obit, maybe using Dead Person for Trust. Well, what's interesting about that is Victor Marx has ties to Louisiana. I think he used to live in Houma, Louisiana. So is it in Houma, Louisiana? Because that would be weird. That would be weird. You should ask Erica about the appraisal and sale of Victor's house. She's a realtor. Yeah, but I don't think there was any money transferring hands. Baron Dell sent email today, 202 sub. Lead particles deposited at temp. Particles were hot, melted into seat. DOR panel and steel plastic chrome. Aren't scratched or scraped to remove embedded lead. All right, thank you. I believe it became... Do me a favor. Someone block this guy. I don't... Shane, I appreciate you watching. You're more than welcome to watch from the sidelines. You've lost your privilege to comment. I believe it became a military training site. You talking about Victor's house? I don't think that's true. Maybe. I don't know. My newest patient mentioned CK during her telehealth appointment. So, of course, I asked, who do you watch? And she's a fellow jury member. So, of course, she's now my favorite. We're huge in Grand Rapids, Kate. We're absolutely huge in Grand Rapids. Love your work, Baron Daisy and company. Christ is king. Keep going, Max. We're doing our best, despite the trolls who apparently have infiltrated. In your opinion, with all you know, do you think EK knew prior to Big Bang? Gut instinct? Yes. Can I prove it? No. But that's an educated opinion. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. Am I interviewing myself? Sure. Sure. As a mom of a son who lost his dad, her behavior is unfathomable. Did they have a prenup? I have no idea if they had a prenup. I bet they were running spiritual wellness retreats. That's kind of scary. Is that valuation based on the assessment or market analysis? I realize some areas assess close to market, but others are way off. Christ is king indeed. Well, yeah, they are, but it had just sold for $400,000 a few years before that. So it's not like it's way. I mean, did you see any improvement there that would merit a 750% increase in market price? That's because you would think the 400 was a market price. How can someone with history of mental illness get one gun, let alone be a dealer? It's on the form. So lied like I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think of that. Now you're on to something, Becky. That's why we do the show. Thank you for joining in. The pit and mound is the entrance to an underground bunker. And those containers are what they build underground bunkers out of. I used to watch a show called Bunker Wars on YouTube. You're telling me they're building an underground bunker on that site? That's kind of scary. And why are you watching shows about underground bunkers, Bigfoot boy? You sound scary. But Barrett, do we have any legal way to hold law enforcement, federal government accountable for how they botched this case? It's so frustrating. We're still trying to get justice for Charlie Kirk. You as an individual? No, not really. I mean, just drawing attention to the case. Place gives me Waco, Branch Davidian vibes. I kind of thought that, but I didn't want to say it. Tactical firearms workshops. They were using cell walls for clearing tactics. Think Delta, Special Forces, and infantry clearing buildings. But why? Why is Victor Marx a man of the cloth clearing buildings? You'd think with his experience, he wouldn't want to be in the gun business. So I'll comment on Candace's show. Could Victor Marx and his wife be the pastor she stayed with for 8 months when she was younger? Yes. High IQ indeed. I mean, potentially. I have no idea. That would make sense. I don't know where Victor Marx lived in 08 though. That was 2008, right? I don't know where they lived back then. I don't know if they were in trying to think of where I could find that real quick. Let me look at one source real quick. See if I can find where he lived in 2008. No, I can't find it. Weird though. There's another Victor Marx in Colorado Springs. Is that true? Huh. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that's a misprint or something. That's weird if that's true. I don't know. I'll have to check that out because wasn't she in Denver? I thought she was in Denver in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. Hey, King B, keep me in prayer this week as I count down the days until the 29th. It will be 6 years since my son Brandon, he was my B, passed at 25 years old. This time of year is hard. Christ is King. Stay true. I bet it is. Raging Storm Cloud, I'm sorry you're experiencing that, but I will certainly pray with you. Be strong, and let us know if you have any trouble. Obviously, shooting range had a large excavation holding water where the shipping container area ended up. Why dig so far down to make a loading dock? I think we might have the answer in the comment a couple above. It sounds like they might be making an underground bunker. The question is, what are they storing down there? Huh? Kind of weird, right? Think about it. Why do they need an underground bunker on site? Aren't we glad we have satellite images? So now we know. Hey, Baron, when do we get to see you in the Dundee hat behind you? I have put it on before in the show. It's been a while. Love you and your show. God bless. Price is King. P.S. Digging my RBP mug. Waiting for V-Necks to launch. V-Necks have launched, baby. They're there. They're there. Go find them. Viral babes in storage containers. So season 2 of The Wire. Oh, that was season 2 of The Wire. That was a great season. They had women in storage containers, shipping them overseas. But I think they're storing, it looks like whatever, I don't know. Do we know why they rushed CK to the car instead of allowing on-site medical to attend to him? Assuming they were there, thanks for being you. It looked like there were a couple of paramedics or at least some sort of medically trained people with medical bags. I don't know if there was anybody there that could truly do any kind of, I don't know. The answer is I don't know. I think Brian Harpole on one of the podcasts said that they were trying to do everything they could to save his life, and it was the best thought they had at the time was to get him out of there. I mean, in retrospect, maybe not, but you know. Victor Marx for prison ASAP. I don't think I said anything prison worthy today. Weird, but not prison worthy. Hey, Baron, now I'm really self-conscious about up-talking, evaluating everything I say, even when I have to speak when I have to speak in front of a crowd. I don't think I do it, but before speaking, I hear your voice up-talking. Hey, up-talking is acceptable occasionally for effect. You just don't want to end every line that way. For effect, occasionally, it's great. Made ribeye with wedge salad. It was great. That's all. Thank you. Got a new member. Super sticker. Thank you. Hey, but Baron, what about the DBA that he showed it registered under? Did y'all check for the DBA? Did you check the DBA for viral babes? I don't have to go back and look at it. Daisy, we checked the DBA for viral babes. I can't even believe I had to say that sentence out loud. Hey, Baron, if he's training people in firearms, those out parcels could be temporary structures, courses for situational training. Congrats on top 50. Isn't it weird that we're having to have this conversation about a preacher? That he's training people for firearms involving underground bunkers and clearing rooms? Like, what the hell are these guys doing? They got neighbors. Hey, Baron, Victor's property updates are giving Texas Chainsaw Massacre energy. He should have used some of the charity money to hire Chip and Joanna Gaines. Sending blessings for much success. Thank you. That domain name was a website. Look way back. Mock. Oh gosh, then it'll be on my. I don't want it on my computer. Like, is it women? I don't want it on my computer. I trust you. I trust you. I wish you'd tell me what was on it. Like I said, if it's like kids born with HIV, yeah, I'll go look at it. Mark's property underground structure was converted from private shooting range to an ammo gear storage vault. Uptalk? Storage vault? Man, you absolutely savaged this man on this fine Thursday night. He's going to need a warm sitz bath. I don't know what's a sitz bath. I got to know. I'm very confused. A warm, shallow bath used to soothe, cleanse, and increase blood flow to intimate areas. Oh, gosh. Thanks, Caroline. Appreciate you for putting that in my head. Get Victor sitting in a sitz bath. Sir B, rest assured, some of the jury most certainly comes here for the pedantries. You rock being pedantic, so we'll allow it, especially for folks playing fast and loose with charitable donations, God's name, and commas. Yes, the commas, ladies and gentlemen. They'll get you every time. That 7 could be NARS, 7 Mountain Mandate. Just want to say thank you for catching on to my comment on Sunday with all the questions. You made my night with your Erica Valley Girl intonation. Nailed it? LOL? Sitz bath. I got to close that. I keep thinking about it when I see it. Your Majesty, King, Baron. That is one human moving around sounding website. How are all these people so terrifying? Man, I'm seriously sheltered here in Iceland. Great job, Baron and Daisy, once again. It's wild. I know you guys don't have those problems in Iceland. Too cold. Too cold. No transportation issues up there. Too cold. No one would live there if they were up to criminal activity. Everybody there, you probably don't have to lock your doors in Iceland. U.S. aid was the golden goose after the midterms. It may be back. I hope not. I hope it stays dead. Why is every time I go deep down a rabbit hole, I lose the T and it becomes a rabbi hole? Oh, gosh. That's funny. I'm going to steal that, too. I'm stealing it. I can't help it. I'm stealing the other one that someone gave me the other day where you repeat the same phrase 3 times. I love your work. Makes me laugh. Makes me mad. Makes me ponder. See, with the fragments is where Mikey sat going to UVU. Do you think the fragments could have been planted there before? Maybe why MM left so quickly? Again, all conjecture. Who knows? Who knows? You feel Charlie's wealth was unjustified. Does seem excessive, but he was also an entity separate to TPUSA. Yes. He was at least authentic. I'm not knocking the man for making good money. Don't get me wrong. All I'm saying is, like, there's just a lot of money being generated around these charities, and we act like these people are some sort of benevolent beings for existing. No, they're getting rich off this stuff. Like, they're making money hand over fist. I'm not knocking the guy. Like, be rich. I don't care. I'm not going to say you shouldn't get rich. But if you are, don't expect people to not notice. And again, I don't know that that's how much he made. That's just what my friend said. And he's pretty connected. I mean, he would have an idea. He would be, I bet you he wasn't terribly far off. Like he wasn't off by a factor of 10. I'll tell you that. I guarantee you that. But yeah, he was authentic. I learn something new every time I watch your show. I'm becoming high IQ. Thank you for your great work. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Bam B. Thank you. Thank you. I sent an email for a service I pay for that you and your team can use. I think it'll be good for your investigating with property information. PropStream. Oh, Danielle. Daisy, did you see that? PropStream. We'll find that email. Thank you. Always found it questionable that TP sponsored CK's wedding. If I remember correctly, it was billed as the org's anniversary and fundraiser. Maybe that's normal, though. I don't think it's normal at all. I'm not knocking him for doing it, but I don't think it's normal at all that your nonprofit would pay for your wedding reception. I think it's weird. But yeah, it was the 9th anniversary reception, I think. Corby's wife sounds like an Erica. She had followed Victor and was a fan. The wife showed Corby the business offer she found online from following Victor. Corby's business had a huge profit gain when she ran it. I can't comment on that. I don't know anything about all that. Buzz Patterson on Elon's app carried the football for Clinton and wrote a book. Great guy, lots of integrity. Yeah, that was a fun open to put together. I knew almost none of that when I started. But Baron, episode 28 is the GOAT, my favorite. My episode 28? What does it say? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Baron, it's pronounced USAID, not USAID. Not for me, it isn't. It's USAID. The entity liked the confusion that the pronunciation caused. Americans believe the actual aid going out to citizens. Nope. In reality, it was a money laundering enterprise. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. This Victor Marx story gives Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell vibes, demon, religious craziness, retooling, castings, etc. Erica's reminded me of Lori many times. Crazy eyes, not enough characters to elaborate. You know. Well, I don't know. Thank you. Annette, thank you. Preach, Baron. We the people are tired. I am tired. I am tired of a lot of it. I'm tired of the trolls. I'm tired of people who can't be satisfied with the limitations that come with some of the information that gets put out. I'm sorry. People have a reason for wanting to redact certain things. Whatever. I'm tired of all the people on the other side that are paid attack dogs and everybody's treating them like they're these benevolent beings that have no interest in anything. Oh, they're just trying to do the right thing. They're just no, stop it. Stop it. Can we have foreign aid while we're at it? Why have it when you could get rid of it entirely? Can't stop thinking of piping companies and steel fam connections we talked about early on. I remember that. It's been a long time. Something underground? Why they'd pave over the ground? I don't think anything that happened to Charlie that day came from under the ground. It could be wrong, but I don't think it did. But it would not surprise me that some of the things on Charlie's body or that were near Charlie ended up on the ground, and it was just easier to cut the grass up, get rid of it, and pave over it. A tornado is interrupting my RBP live stream. Have to watch later. Is a tornado or something? Let me look. Where are you? Neurodivergen, if that is your real name. Oh, you could be in the Iowa area. Man. Looks like there's some tornadoes up that way. Some tornadic activity. You don't get to use the word tornadic very often. When you have the opportunity, you need to use it. Tornadic. Small business owner. We pay income tax, property tax on items, equipment in the building, employees tax, excise tax, property tax on building, etc. That's a good point. Property tax on those buildings that Turning Point owns are probably a fortune if they had to pay them. I'm telling you, I'm frustrated by this nonprofit business. Florence County's small acreage zones have restrictions that appear to have been breached by the images you shared, unless he has received variances. Someone ought to check into it. Man wants to be the governor. Is Victor property zoned to allow that many dwellings? Does it meet local zoning, land use regulations for density and development limits? Again, someone ought to contact the county and ask. Say, we've reviewed satellite images that look like there's a lot of activity in underground bunkers and multiple dwellings, and there's popped out RVs. Like, what's going on this 5-acre property, 5.25-acre property? Praise you for bringing this to light finally. We have all been getting hosed by this nonprofit system for years, and someone needs to stop this nonsense. Massive pet peeve, but no one gets it. I get it. Airplane hangar on property? I don't think it's an airplane. It's not nearly big enough for an airplane. I don't think. Talked about anointed speech. Talk about anointed speech. You call it like it is. You're touching upon a nerve. Expect a backlash. I can already see welfare speech quickly trending. I archive. V-Babes there. Links go to MaxFeed. What's MaxFeed? Is it going to have me pull up something bad, is it? What's MaxFeed? Farming solutions? Is that what the viral babes was? It was like cows or something? What if it was just calves? And we're like, oh, like he was in the farming business for a while. I don't know what MaxFeed is. I've heard that, though. What is MaxFeed? Well, I'm thinking of Superfeed. Hold on. Let me take a picture of that, because I remember MaxFeed coming up in this research along the way, but I've overseen so much that I can't remember everything. Clip that. I own operate a center for kids with autism and extreme behavioral needs, and there are times I don't get paid to ensure my staff gets paid and the kids have everything they need. TPUSA makes me sick. I can feel where you're coming from. Thank you for that very generous contribution. Been hesitant to share. A friend works at TP and PR. It was said when EK took over, they have been trying to step away from donations to be independent. This has sat with me since December. May not have any meaning, but sharing. No, that's huge. If that's true, that's huge. That's absolutely massive. Like, that's such a big piece of information if that's accurate. Getting away from donations, what the hell else are they doing? What are they living off of? MT Wallspot, SB, someone you admire brought you in radio. Oh, empty Wallspot. Bob Kavoyan. B, can't remember my life without you in evenings now. Thank you. Any word on Candace's timeline regarding TR buying a new gun after shooting? No, I forgot to ask her about it, to be honest with you. I've forgotten that was in the timeline. I'll ask her what she was talking about. You should be number one, in my opinion. Allison, you're number one in my heart for that comment. I'll give you that. Thank you. Baron, why not go the full route? Wealth tax to replace income tax. Do I have it in here? Hold, please. So in 2010, was 2010? Yeah, spring, summer 2010, the Florida State University Business Review, your humble host wrote the lead article in this journal here. And it was called Shall We Tax? I don't know how many pages it was. It's 18 pages. It's a legal article. Looks like this. 18 pages of that. But I wrote a short history of the current income tax, talked about how the income tax, despite popular thought, is actually embedded with regressive aspects. I give examples. Then I gave a short history of consumption taxes on both the state and federal level. And then I gave a specific, in part 5 here on page 9, a specific consumption tax proposal called the Fair Tax Act. And then I talked in part 6, the economic impact of switching to sales taxes. Gave some examples, and then I gave the conclusion, which was a couple of pages. I'm not a fan of wealth taxes, but I am a fan of consumption taxes. because they encourage savings. And they encourage savings. And so I probably would push back against it's a great article. Florida State University Business Review, spring, summer of 2010. They sent me 10 of them when they published it. I'm not a fan of wealth taxes, to be honest with you. Not a fan of income taxes either, but certainly not a fan of wealth taxes. Because wealth taxes encourage consumption. So it encourages, you put a moral hazard on being broke. It encourages you to be broke. Your tax burden goes down if you spend all your money. Well, that's not very wise for the long-term survival of a civilization. We want people to keep wealth, inherit wealth, pass down wealth, build wealth. We want to encourage that because that decreases the dependency on government and charity. I love Bad Cop Baron. These are the best nights. Just our humble host saying out loud what the silent majority is thinking in our heads. Thank you. I ran the nonprofit Donate Life Foundation for 10 years and made not one penny. Every day dollar that was brought in went directly to transplant patients or educational information. No one was paid anything. Well, that's interesting. That sounds like you did good work. I don't know much about that charity, but John 1, 9 through 10. What comes next after what she stated in the speech that she put on the kitchen wall? Who are you talking about? Put on the kitchen wall. Our favorite uptalker. Consider it joy. Is that what you're talking about? Consider it joy. John 1, 9 and 10. I have written something to the church. But Diotrephes, who likes to put himself first, does not acknowledge my authority. Is that what you're talking about? It's a weird verse. So if I come, I will bring up what you are doing, accusing me falsely with evil words. Also not content with that, he refuses himself to welcome the brethren. Also stop. I don't know what application that has to anything she said, but I believe you. I'm taking it at face value. Blessings to the truth seekers. Keep upping efforts. Doing our best here. Congratulations on your 100 episodes. Thanks to all you're doing. God bless you and your family. Christ is risen. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is the Prego charity still active? Can we donate? It is. Hold on. I have a widget. There you go. If you click that, it'll take you to the donate page. I've not been affiliated with many years. It's a great charity, though. And that donate page, you can navigate from there to the rest of the things. So I'll leave that up for a few minutes if you want to donate. I'll give you let you look at it. What time did you send that? So about an hour ago. Maybe you're still watching. I think Victor Marx, EK et al. Have interpreted Matthew 19:26 incorrectly. But with God in our charity's name and our mission statement, all things are possible and allowable, even if not lawful. Okay. I was the rule follower. Okay. Duly noted. Property needs a professional appraiser for a loan. Well, I mean, I think they did have an initial loan, but I don't think they've had a loan since then. I'm 65, still working. Welfare queens, kings, getting rich from my tax money. Tick me off. Get a job, EK, AK, Fakey, Blakey, and the rest of you loafers. Oh, I forgot about Blake. I forgot all about old Blake. How could I have forgotten Blake? Fake Blake? Hey, Baron. Thank you for making my point. Since BLM, most nonprofits allegedly equal scam. Do not pay taxes. Also, by law, doesn't their filing status require them to be nonpartisan? Love from Connect I Cut. Yeah, I think it does, actually. And for 2026, the Oscar-winning performance goes to the Real Baron podcast. Keep going, Max. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. And I've won an Oscar, ladies and gentlemen. My uncle, a devout Catholic, worked at a convention center in the 80s hosting Jimmy Swaggart. Audience gave envelopes with prayer requests and money. Staff ripped the cash and trashed the prayers before Swaggart even left the stage. Well, that's tragic if true. If that's true, that's really tragic. I hope that's not accurate. I hope somebody prayed for those people. They said you spoke to Ian. Where's he been? I did. I spoke to him yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. He's been working on a lot of projects. He's a hardworking man. And he has assured me, he said, I am going to get back into podcasting here before terribly long. He said, but I've just been covered up with working on these projects. And I'm thankful he's doing it because he's doing really good work out there. And I love his podcast and can't wait till he gets back in the saddle. But I'll forgive him for taking some time away to benefit the community. Trigger Smart, lapel microphone theory from Bray. Noted. Not so fast, my friend. Will someone please get this man a pencil? Great show. Christ is king indeed. Hi, do you think we can hope for Carlson 2028? I'd be surprised if Tucker runs. Riz voicemail of Victor Marx in Colorado, and the planes were landing there. Christ is king indeed. There were some planes that landed there. That's correct. Can someone text the Iranians and tell them we would very much like a Lego welfare queen video? That would be so lit. That's funny. Hold, please. Oh, that would be funny. I doubt the Iranians are watching. Your humble host. Cue the Jeffersons theme song. Moved from 49 to 47 overnight. Love y'all. Oh, did I really? Moving on up? Did I really go to 47 overnight? Hold, please. I didn't know they released them every day. They really go up overnight. I'll be doggone. Oh, come on, guys. You can get me over Glenn Beck. Come on. Don't get me stuck behind Glenn Beck. That's not right. I'm coming for you, Glenn. You better get your chalkboard out. Get your chalkboard out, Glenn. I've already jumped the New York Times. I'm coming for you, Glenn. Daily Beast. You guys have no idea. No, I'm just kidding. Just messing with you. Guys, I appreciate it. You guys have been amazing supporting the program. So thank you. Hey, Bear, nothing to say really. Just came to support my humble host and say that I love you all. My favorite YouTube community by far. Feeling seen by your peers means a lot. Christ is king indeed. This is a wonderful community. I keep telling everybody. Why do people watch your show? I'm like, it's a great community. Great community. If you need hit the QR code, do it now because I'm about to pull it down. 3, 2, 1. It's that white box was drawing my eye over there. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Did you see Charlie did the forward for Victor Marx's book? I thought it was interesting. He's just a weird O. Congrats on top 50, and thanks for all your hard work. Don't apologize. We don't need him here. First super chat. I want to apologize. I don't want to run people off if I can avoid it, but I don't look, it's hard enough to spend the hours and the time and everything it takes to put a show together. What I don't need is somebody like betray your sources, to make sure no one ever sends you information again. Make sure you don't do anything your sources at. Shut up. Protestants, please take theology arguments elsewhere. I mean, even Catholics, I don't want to argue theology. If you have a question for why, I'll state it clearly now that I'm calm. If you have a question about why I believe something, I'm more than welcome to entertain that question. I'm happy to answer the question. If you want to tell me why I'm wrong, I don't care. I don't care. I have all day to ponder the mysteries of Rome. I don't need to do it while I'm trying to work. This is work. This is what we do as a community for a living. Baron Coleman for President of the United States of America, please. I would rather be Vice President or Secretary of State, if I'm being honest. Could the platform Charlie was sitting on under the tent that Candace said is new, an electric propulsion weapon, and the scrapes or burns on the SUV door be linked? Oh, I don't know. That's way above my pay grade. I'm not an electric propulsion scientist. Letters of marque, letters of reprisal, legal tool for allowing private companies to profit from government military work related to loss of previous Fed slop options like Voice of America, USAID, GEC. Okay. Duly noted. People, 5 new people will be able to watch Trigger Smart and your humble host live tomorrow on the member show. Can we hope for Carlson 2028? Again, I don't know. I find your genuine, heartfelt faith touching. I enjoy listening to you explain your beliefs. I never miss Jesus loves you because of your sincerity. By the way, I'm an atheist. Thank you for all you do. That's interesting, Rick. That would appeal to you. I'm a big fan that there are no real atheists in the world. They think they are. I thought I was at one time. I thought I was. Hey, Baron, regarding the reddish flakes that were seen on the floorboard, do you think it could possibly be sunglass lenses? Oh, I don't know. I hadn't considered sunglass lenses. Also, we're all appreciative of your hard work and strong moral character. Stay great. Thank you. I have not considered sunglass lenses. I think Victor Marx is the scariest guy we've investigated yet. His childhood broke him in a way that he can't be fixed, and his defense mechanisms grew to be satanic to feel in control. I truly worry about his backlash to exposure. Yes, I'm more worried that he shouldn't have a gun license based on his past. I didn't even consider that until one of the commenters brought it up. King Baron, take it with joy. Zach's comment in his earlier live about having strawberry blonde hair. God bless you, your family, and loved ones. Christ is King indeed, and Jesus loves you as well, Bella. Thank you. If you could have a face-to-face interview with anyone in or surrounding the Charlie Kirk case, who would it be? On the record or off the record? On the record, Erica Kirk. Off the record, Mikey McCoy. On the record, Erica Kirk. I think her eyes and her body language would betray her. Whatever came out of her mouth, you guys, 90% of what we communicate is your body language. And so I think her 90% would betray the 10%. And I would get a lot of truth out on the record, even if it's subjectively determined through her body language. Off the record, Mikey McCoy. I don't even think it's close. Probably a close second would be Dan Flood. And I would never tell anyone I talk to him. Because off the record means off the record. But Baron, I sure hope Adfleet does your talk to AK last night. Andrew, take heed and repent, sir. Go Max and stay gold. I'll do my best. Thank you, Laura. Tagged you on X today. You 100% called it last night. Larry is already floating the idea that Candace is being paid by the SPLC. That's why you guys tune in. I tell you the news the day before it happens. I saw a lot of people saying that. Baron, the welfare queen, Tyler B, is asking people to take time off work to chase ballots. That's so ironic. Yeah, only they would use some of their millions of dollars to pay people to chase ballots. Baron, King B, King Baron. I'm so behind tonight. Softball life. Our family loves watching you. We are catching up now. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Softball's a fun sport to watch. Is Charlie Kirk in the welfare queen group, or was he better? I mean, he worked for he got paid very well from a charity. So I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. Hi, Baron. I wanted to thank you for inspiring me to return home. Haven't missed Mass since Ash Wednesday. Found an Ignatius Catholic Study Bible, New Testament online for $6. That's this book right here. That's what I was just reading out of. That's wonderful. That is wonderful news. Got great notes too. I've been enjoying the notes. You've been a huge influence on my life. You were meant to be here. Love from Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh. I've been there. Back when we did some consulting for a grocery store chain, it was based in Pittsburgh. And we went to Pittsburgh quite a bit. And took in a Pirates game one time. Knocked doors in a little place called Upper St. Clair. Not sure if you know where that is. Nice town, by the way. Beautiful area. Fought a Walmart there in the Pittsburgh area. Fought a Whole Foods there in the Pittsburgh area. Hey, look, the grocery business is cutthroat, guys. I wasn't doing it long, but it was fun. BCCO have turned more to Christ than TP ever will. It's not a game. It's not a race. It's not a competition. The more the merrier. I'm in favor of everybody, doing as much as they can. I didn't get a notification again. Darn YouTube. I know you were busy, but I'll send another email with my number. Much love from your best AK Indigenous supporter. If you guys knew how far behind I was on text messages alone, like I have people I really need to talk to, and I'm like, I don't have time. Like I did not have time today to text a single soul. And so they just backed up all day. But tomorrow I'll have plenty of time. I'll get to some of them. There's a great streak coming from CK's back right in the video titled 1. MP4 on the archive page. Zoom in on the center Fiji water bottle to the lower right. Thanks for all you do. Christ is King. Unfortunately, that's not a video I can play online. We did play those in some of the early episodes, and I'll watch it right now. Sorry, let me hit mute in case you guys are hearing that. Some of you don't even want to hear it. Um, I don't see the gray streak of light. Why can't I turn the volume off? Hold on. Let me go back. Water bottle. I hope you're not hearing that. I mean, I see what looks like a bug, maybe. Yeah. I can't play those. We played some in the early days, and YouTube did not approve. Holy mackerel. They were beside themselves. So we stopped playing them. Christ is king indeed. My biggest concern in the gun fragments on the seat was they were clean. Shouldn't they have blood residue? I don't even know that they were gun fragments. I just asked the question. They kind of look like it to me. My 11-year-old walked in while your new opener was playing, was like, ooh, is this Fleet? So catchy. Thanks for what you do. Fleet is becoming quite the celebrity. Agreed. Please don't do sponsor. Christ is king indeed. Well, thank you. Christ is king indeed. But Baron, thanks for all you do. Love from Missouri. Also love your high Q outfit shirt. Already worn it twice. Say hi to my brother Mark. Hola, Mark. He loves your show too. I love Mark more. Baron, Christian woman here. Much respect. You never push your beliefs on us, and we all appreciate you. We read from the same Bible, and you're always willing to read Bible verses when asked. I'm sorry people want to argue religion with you. Congrats. Yeah, Lisa. I mean, there are some shows that's what they want to do. They want to argue and they want to fight about religion. That's not my style. Maybe it's the Catholic in me. We don't really do that all that much publicly. We're not a proselytizing bunch by disposition. I mean, I know there are some Catholic proselytizers and missionaries and apologists and all that, but it's, one body, many parts, many parts. Some people are the pinky. Some people are the brain. I'm more pinky than brain. Thank you. What is this about Trump wanting Obama in prison? Not that either one is any better than the other. That's just red meat for the midterms. Okay, I'm singing along, dancing. Just a little hold, please. Too bad I can't carry a tune. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. Don't feel bad. No particular message, and I will not support a welfare queen business. I enjoy our community. Thank you. You could check if Mark's property is maybe listed in Harvest Hosts. Campers can go and park there. In that case, my boyfriend and I live in one. I mean, you can check. I don't know anything about it. Let me know if you find it. But thank you. Look into why refi, SoFi, and Wachovia student loan, 80s. All refi companies that popped up to take over after major government student loan programs, in my humble opinion, all a scam. That's your opinion. I don't know anything about them. Government equals friends equals refi companies. SoFi equals Obama. Why refi equals Trump. Wachovia 80s. No ink. Doc 6 fig direct loan guns in 2011. Easy peasy. Got you. Didn't Wachovia go out of business or did they get bought by somebody? I used to have a Wachovia bank account many moons ago. But yeah, I haven't checked into it. I don't know much about it. First super chat, wanted to thank you for talking about charities and tax cheats. We're in process of setting up installment plan because we can't afford a tax bill all at once, but we pay our fair share. I've been there. Where you set up the 2-year payment plan or the 1-year payment plan and you chunk it out a little bit at a time. Leeches. Great show indeed. Thank you. I need to go to heck, you piece of rubbish shirt. Did I say that? Go to heck, you piece of rubbish. Did I say that? I don't know if I would say something like that, did I? No wealthy welfare for me because I want to go to heaven. Oh, that cuts close. If TR knew he was playing such a role but didn't know he'd be the patsy, then turns himself in once he realizes, why wouldn't he claim his innocence, especially since they're going max penalty anyway? Well, because procedurally there's no opportunity yet to proclaim his innocence. He hadn't even entered a plea yet. But from a legal perspective, I can understand the lawyers telling the family and him, shut up, we'll handle this in court. We're not going to do this in the press. I can see that. What's the latest on the missing scientists who were involved in space science stuff? Would enjoy a presentation on that. Kathy, is that your way of telling me you did not watch yesterday's program? Because that was the opening statement. That was the whole opening, was the missing scientist. Can't wait to rewatch parts on 1.5 speed. LOL. Christ is king indeed. Can't figure out chats. Thanks for Mississippi pot roast reference. Found recipe and fix tonight. Went over well. A tad off topic. Just wanted to say Mississippi pot roast is never off topic. It's delicious. I love Mississippi pot roast. Real welfare queens are military contractors. A lot of them. But Baron, the Toyota Hilux pickups that Mark and his wife are sitting on, has an Egyptian license plate. Probably just a coincidence, I'm sure. I don't speak Egyptian. I didn't know that. What Egyptians don't speak Egyptian? They speak Arabic. How did you recognize you could read that? I can't read it. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you. Can we all agree the plot to take out CK did not go as planned? Yes. Yes. No matter what you believe. Let's say this. Even if you believe Tyler did it, did not go as planned. Did not go as planned. Because I guarantee you his goal was to, if he did it, his goal was to get away scot-free, grab the rifle, sneak out of town, not be seen. Yes. His goal, assuming, again, he did it, his goal was not to be picked up on camera so many times. Oh, that's tea. I was like, what is in there? I thought, the brown water. Not that kind of brown water. You could use a portion of the Athlete song as a little RBP theme when you upload, maybe right before the opening statement. Yeah, I mean, I could. Just do like a little 10-second ID. I used to have to do ID breaks in radio. Pause 10 seconds for station identification. Hey, great show. Wonder about the cops' report of a man trying to exit the SUV on the road, but getting pulled back in. They would have pulled the car over, but no record of this. Bless you. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out one day, hopefully. Awesome show tonight. Been in and out, taking care of my twins. So will be a rewatch to inhale everything. Inhale, that's a descriptive word. I say 2 months from now, you will make top 10. Christ is king, indeed. God bless you and your family. Well, apparently we're up to 47. Glenn, I'm coming for you. Don't get comfy there in the 46th position. I got my eyes on it. Glenn Beck. Campaign advertising industry is also money laundering. That's what I said. What I said. Thank you, Mr. Murph. Forgive me for being a Joe, but I don't understand how laundering works. How does the Marx get the $3 million from the charity to the fam? Christ is king indeed. Well, they bought the land from that trust. I'm assuming the trust is for the benefit of the family, considering the P.O. box ties to his children. So there's your thing. I mean, a lot of people have property and trusts. Does anything come up with a guy with the police badge that realized he was on camera and then removed it? Oh, no, not that I've seen. Sir Baron, you're popular here in Michigan. I went to a Jimmy show last month and they mentioned you. Oh, Jimmy Dore? Solid. Also ask Alexa about that viral page and she says it's an adult page and she can't talk about it. That's why I didn't open it. Aren't you glad I didn't open it? People tell me to look at archived corn. Did Mrs. Coleman get that baby delivered? They did. 10 fingers, 10 toes. Clarifying last, well, she didn't do the actual delivery. She's not the doctor, but she's there in support. Clarifying last comment. I meant, why hasn't he made his statement to public to get it out there? With DP on the table, wouldn't he want people to know? Again, there's not really an opportunity. What's he going to call a presser? Tacoma is a Hilux. It has used a different name in the U.S. Prior to Tacoma, it was simply called the Toyota pickup. For a short time in the 70s, it was indeed called a Hilux in the U.S. I thought they were different. Maybe I'm wrong. Why would you call it something different? Has anyone looked at the hat from a younger pickup Twigs? The same as the shooter picks. Hurley hat is identical to the one on the train platform. Train platform. That's all good information. I'd have to check that out. You know who might know that is I don't give a damn. She knows a lot of things about the Twigs family. Y'all are in trouble today. Be quiet before we get sent to the corner. Love you, Baron. Well, listen, just behave and you don't get in trouble. That's what I try to tell my kids. Just behave. Behave. From our grumblers, but Baron, take high doses of vitamin D for the allergies. You add so much to my life and others. I'm sure Christ is king. If you only knew how high of a dose of vitamin D I took on a daily basis, it's obnoxious. And K2, D3 and K2. Let's play a game. You must pick one to hold the nuclear football biscuit for 48 hours. Vapid Victor Marx, bitter Blake Neff, or Looney Tooney Loomer. Don't chicken out. This is a high IQ question. This is not even a remotely difficult question. Blake Neff speed, here's your biscuit. Don't use it. I wouldn't trust the other two with my life. And if they're holding the biscuit, that's your life. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them at all. Skeezy Keeks. What happens to Social Security money if someone passes away prior to retiring or not living long after retirement? Can't help but wonder, since so many passed away during COVID vax. Thank you for being smart. It just stays in the trust fund. It's an insurance plan, not an investment plan. You don't get it. It's just there, and it pays you out if you stay alive. Weird question. Baron, that's a high concentration of nonprofits in Northern Virginia that's hurting our economy, and they all vote for Dems now. Christ is king indeed. We need to give Northern Virginia back to Washington, D.C., and then cut it out and make Virginia red. Your rant about welfare queens was spot on, Baron. Do not stop going, Max. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, A-Train. I will not stop going, Max. Good sir. Real people. Grumblers will take that as a loving compliment, Baron. Your grumblers are so excited to proudly rock our Grumbler merch. Thank you. Jojo, I did it all for you. Olive green Grumbler t-shirt ordered. Thanks for including the Rumble crew. Of course. I would never leave out my beloved grumblers like I did the first time and forgot. Baron, redact what you need to. We trust you, Christ is king. Thank you, Ms. Weedman. I'm doing my best. If you've ever seen the movie Kingdom of Heaven, you understand why I asked the parade, why I asked that we parade DJT naked backwards on a donkey. I've never seen the movie. And I don't want to see him naked, so I hope I never have to live out your dream of seeing it. Thank you, Cupston. Alex at TPUSA is coming next week to my tiny town in Indiana. Apparently she's a Hoosier. Just signed a deal with the governor to have chapters in every high school. I'm disgusted and want to do something. I had no idea she was a Hoosier. I'm going to have to take my Kleenex box down. Baron, I'm scrolling on Facebook and see your post. I was surprised to see my Seinfeld quote from last night's comments. Mug Costanza. Excuse me. I don't know what CIS means. I know what CSI is. Wasn't that a TV show? Crime Scene Investigation? CSI Miami? With the guy who used to rip his glasses off, Horatio. I watched a little TV in my day. Dumbo here. What are PEADs? Those are EADs for the president. Those are plans. Just think of them as plans. Prescripted plans that the president can use. I defined it in the open. Where was it? Emergency action documents. Emergency action documents. So a presidential emergency action document would be a PEAD. Baron, appreciate nice things. Thank you. FYI, DD and guest Brian did detailed episode on why refi. Also, Bolo Box. Remember looking forward to Matt. Enjoyed you and Zach. Keep up the good work. Kutgwa, if you recall. Hello, King Baron. I was wondering if EK is now also serving as a pastor. Consider it joy. Just bought a new t-shirt. Can't wait to get it. Great show tonight, Baron. Christ is king. Love the work that you, Daisy, and your sister do. Also, great job on the intro fleet. Yes, it's a team effort. Holy cow, yes, my uncle and all of his siblings were raised in Huma. OMG, I'm worried now. Is your uncle named Victor? Or Vaughn? But Baron, your awesomeness wife and I watch your awesomeness. Wife and I watch together. Keep going, Max, because this world needs more truth seekers. Can you say hi to Michelle? She will love it. Hola, Michelle. Buenas noches. Hi, Baron. As a former certified residential appraiser, the Marx sale was sus. Comps from the 2014 to 2024 would tell the tale. Thanks for the show. Christ is king, indeed. Yeah, well, he's running for governor. What can you do? Hi, what do you think about Carlson for 2028? I'd vote for him, but I don't think he's running. Maybe. Oh, yeah. B, recent Jesse episode. What are your thoughts on AI Minister Diella given a seat in parliament in Albania in September 2025, same time as when CK was removed? Nuts. And it's pregnant. 100% Christ is king. I didn't see that episode. Who's AI Minister Diella? And what does it have to do with Charles Kirk? Is it supposed to look like Charlie Kirk or something? Oh, it's not a real person? Really? She looks Albanian. We're huge in Albania. Huge in the Balkans. Huge in the Balkans. Massive. I did not know they were seeding AI programs in the government. That's weird. That's creepy. Just a little contribution to our humble host. Love you, Baron and team. Christus Rex Est. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. King Baron. The TPUSA Baylor was a disaster. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, admittedly. Learned so much tonight. Even hubby sat up and listened. Thank you so much for all you do. Christ is king indeed. Tell hubby hello and welcome to the program. Auntie Leish, I'm way behind. I watch you in increments between clients. I wanted to state I'm 100% sure I've seen a clip of Charlie Kirk saying he cried when Trump won because Biden was investigating TPUSA. That's correct. Trump is also a welfare queen, man from operating nonprofit in New York. Well, that's true. Good point. Thank you for that generous contribution. King Baron, I'm late to the live, but I had to start at the opening to hear the best song, and my 3-year-old kid said it's his favorite. Thank you for all you do. Christ is king indeed. Well, kids know. Kids instinctively know. Oh, what's funny is I saw this the other day on my Facebook memories. I'll get back to that comment. I saw this on my Facebook memories. I had a record player. Well, I still do, but the house we lived in before this house. So this would have been at least 5 years ago, 6 years ago. One of my kids, I would think it would, I guess, be my now 9 or 10-year-old. So he'd have been like 2 or 3 at the time. I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Funky album. Just playing the album straight through. Lights were dim. Hanging out in the living room. And my son just starts going with it. So I picked up my phone and started recording. And all of a sudden, he just kept moving more and more. And all of a sudden, he was getting funky. And I was like, yes, it's natural. It's natural. And it came up on my Facebook memories the other day, so I laughed. Shane got spanked. I'm dying of laughter. Set him up with Joe. You said it. I love that Joe has a new boyfriend in Shane now. So happy for them. Happy for you too, Baron. I'm a matchmaker, ladies and gentlemen. Congrats on hitting number 47 on Spotify. Streaming isn't easy, but you're crushing it. It is not easy. There's no doubt about that. But thank you. Baron, you're a celebrity in my women's Bible study. I'm huge in the Bible study business, guys. All the ladies are fellow high IQ members of the jury, and we all love you. God bless you and your beautiful family. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. I love sloth as well. Isn't sloth a sin? You shouldn't love sloth. But thank you. And you go back to the Bible study. Regarding your opening yesterday, it is known if there's some common thread between all 11 missing scientists, science-adjacent people. I think other than the fact that they're in high-tech industry, I don't know. My first super chat, a compound like his, isn't that similar to a cult atmosphere? You said it, not me. You said it. No, but Baron has problems with who doesn't agree. No, not necessarily. I don't care if you disagree. But accept my answer and move on. Like, if you ask me what I think about and you disagree, fine. But if you try to say, no, you're wrong, blah, blah, it's not this program. I don't care. I don't care. It's not me having a problem with it. I'm just not going to argue with you. Get a life, Shane. Love you, my B. Christ is king indeed. Jesus loves all of us. Oh, indeed. Every one of us. So my crash out followed by a breath and a gentle hold, please, is top tier. Please, P.S. He called you a hippocrate. Is that a kennel for a hippo? Well, let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe whatever reason hypocrite wouldn't send. Sometimes Super Chat does that. If not, the IQ sounds about right. Why is everyone's panties in a knot today? Sorry, Baron, that folks are so dumb. As an investigator of 20 plus years, I don't give details or sources. God bless. Again, if the option is, I will allow you to use this document on this one condition, you have to blank this out and you can't tell why. And I tell you that, like, I can't tell you why I had to blank it out, but I had to blank it out. And you don't like it, then whatever. Just accept that I'm telling you the conditions I had on it. Don't argue with me about it. TR could be at UVU for a job interview. Dixie Tech partners with Wilkerson Electric, who has a project at the Sorensen Center. Camille Lyman, VP of Instructor. Well, I think if that's the case, that would be easy for him to prove. I don't anticipate that'll be his testimony. Salary caps should also apply to Congress. Their income should be tied to their constituents' income. Citizens do better than Congress does better. Why not just make it a voluntary position? The BB-shaped lead particle looks melted into seed. That's the one that got me going, was that BB-shaped lead particle. There's no blood around it. There's nothing. It looks metal to me. And then I started looking around. I was like, holy mackerel. It looks like other stuff. I mean, that's the one that got me. Pure spec. Could Victor have been the shooter? Just my opinion. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. I went to a place for help out of pregno because abusive boyfriend instead got ultrasound. What to expect book, maternity fits, and hug. That baby is my 15-year-old son today. Wow. What a story, Victoria. Wow. Go hug your son. Go hug him. Tell him I'm thankful he's here. What a story. What a story. See, as sitting on the board of directors, I wasn't able to interact with the clients. So I was unable to get those stories. We got numbers like this many women came in, this many chose to keep their, like we got that kind of stuff, but I was never able to actually talk to them. My wife did. She volunteered there for a long time. The welfare leeches steal from real life savers. That's correct. Slay Baron. You have my New York Jew stamp of approval. Keep slaying. I think you should go to Santa's near the track and sing your new intro. I don't know what that means. It sounds amazing, though. Sounds amazing. Baron, you have done a Google Trends on Victor Marx. I have not. Yeah, actually, I did. Keep in mind, they've broken Google Trends. It's not nearly as valuable as it used to be. And I don't remember what it said. I'll have to go do it again. Mark's giving apocalyptic cult leader vibes. We talked about the Seekers cult a few weeks ago. That open is on the Clips channel at Baron Coleman Clips if you want to watch it. Thanks, B Wheezy, selling my house, $3.5 million, no improvements. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? Baron, I'm disappointed you haven't admired my profile pic. Appreciate continued prayers. Thank you. Mark's cult compound evolution was interesting. I thought so. It was a fascinating segment to me. All I see is a guy. Is he behind bars? That is so small on my screen. And I'd have to stand up to get closer, and I still don't know that I'd see it. It's a guy in an orange shirt, apparently behind bars, looking at striped daylight, as they say. I don't know who it is. I'm sorry. A sits bath with a T-shirt that says, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Now that I know what a sits bath is, that's really funny. Oh, Julie. That's funny. Oh, gosh. Thank you for shouting out teachers when you were on Zach's podcast. You understand us. I feel seen. Baron, you truly are an honorable son of God. Wow, those are strong words. Thank you for the thoughtful, clear explanations. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. That dude's getting on my nerves. You need to protect your sources, and if they need something redacted, so be it. Also, bull butter is my new favorite saying. Christ is king indeed. It's bull butter that people won't just accept that. Like, again, the option is if people can't trust that you're going to redact what they asked you to redact, you will never get anything again. Like, honestly, I say this in all sincerity because I know where a lot of this comes from. If you record someone's phone call and release it, do you think anyone's ever going to take your phone call again? No. That'll be the last time you ever talk to that person. I will never talk to those people again. And a lot of people are doing it these days. You're not going to hear me on the phone with them. You think I'm ever going to take Jason Goodman's call again? Not after he released it. No offense, Blake, but once you release Candace's call, like I'll watch your work. I did watch some of your show from the other night. And I don't have anything problem with you, but I'm not taking the risk of someone secretly recording me and releasing it. Well, if for no other reason, people evolve. Like what I think today, I might not think a month from now or 3 months from now or 6 months from now. I got to be held to the standard that I got to worry about everything I've said in the past or somebody. No, it's nonsense. And sources feel the same way. If they say, hey, I'd like to give you some pictures to review, can you please make sure you don't show this one? Or if you do, you redact all of this area? Sure, I'd be happy to redact all that area. And as an audience, like if I tune in to watch Danks and Danks puts up a document and otherwise I wouldn't have seen the document, but he says, hey, and I had to redact this last paragraph and unfortunately I'm not able to tell you why, but just trust me, it doesn't impact the case, but it would have bothered my source. So I've protected it. Okay. I'm glad I got to see the rest of it. Christ is king indeed. To the best of my knowledge, prior to the Aurora Theater incident, there was no background check required in Colorado. I think there's a federal background check, isn't there? Every time I buy a gun, I have to fill out some federal form. Isn't that what Hunter Biden was charged with? And I've been buying guns for 25 years. That was before the Aurora, Colorado Theater incident. And I bought my first gun in 2001, and I had to fill out, as an adult, I had to fill out one of those same forms. It's the same form. I don't think it's changed at all. And maybe they've added 1 or 2 questions, but they look the same. Cindy's comment. EMS was there, and Project Constitution posted October 13th about video proof of Charlie's team waving them off at the car. I believe there was an interview of one of them somewhere too. Good data. Thank you. Final for tonight, B. Thank you for having this amazing high IQ community time. We can ask for prayers if needed, share thoughts and high IQ insights, and together our realize Christ is king indeed. Thank you, Raging Storm Cloud. I haven't had a chance to steal it yet, but consider it stolen. I will use that. Homa, pronounced like Homa. Oh, this is a buccal thing? Homa, Louisiana, was a gun running location for Operation Mongoose with Cuban exiles. When? Because I'm looking it up. Homa, Operation, what do you call it? Mongoose? Cubans? Will that give me there? Cubans? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's back in the 60s. Victor wasn't even alive. Here you had me thinking we were on a juicy tip. Hey, Baron, hope you kid. It's pronounced Homa. No, I was not kidding. I've never been there. Never heard it pronounced out loud. Daisy is the best researcher in the world. She's fantastic. She deserves an award. Are there researcher rewards? If so, Daisy wins. You just created one. It's called the Brittany Wiggins 2111 Award. And Daisy's the reigning champion. We love your show. It's impeccable. Thank you. But Baron, do you watch Summer House on Bravo? I don't. I don't watch any reality shows. Even the demon in Victor's personal retooling prayer thought that viral babes Haktua feet pics was a bad idea. Haktua girl lives near me. That's funny. Not like in my house, but close. That's funny. Never met her, for the record. Never met her. I've been trying to get Hubs to watch for months. Caught him watching a YouTube about one of our conspiracy theories and nodding. Hoping to have one more fan in the near term. Thank you for all you do. Cantarona TB, we're rooting for you and your husband. 2 different videos in black outfit. He walked different paths. Watch again. It would have been helpful if you'd have told me which paths he walked, because I don't think he did. He walked down one street, took a left on the corner, and walked down the other street. I'm not aware of a different path. So I'm happy to review if I'm wrong. Happy to not review, revise if I'm wrong. Sir, it's colder in the winter in Boston than in Reykjavik, Iceland. Not that cold here, just a little cold for the majority of the year. Similar weather, spring, fall, and winter. I'm looking up your temperature right now. It's April 23rd. It better be in the 50s. It's 68 here, if that gives you any reference of what I'm looking for. I don't know how to spell Reykjavik. I can't look it up. Reyk. Ma'am, it's 40. That's too cold. Unacceptable. Your highs for the next week don't hit 50. That's too cold. 46, 46, 48, 49, 48, 43, 44, 41, 46, 47. I've added it to my list here. It's now on here. I will see Reykjavik every time I open my weather app. By contrast, the highs here, ma'am, Anna, I'm not in Boston, keep in mind, 82, 80, 75, 78, 79, 82, 76, 68, 62, 64. That, my friends, is spring. That is spring. All right. But I'll allow it, Anna. I'll allow it. Just because you guys have such a beautiful language. Hello, Bubba Baron. Is Eileen Marks the pastor's wife that EK spoke to while in hiding for 8 months? Christ is king indeed. I don't know. B Money, outstanding show tonight. I've always said this about charities. I'm very peculiar about where I give my money for this reason. Go Max. Go Max indeed. Thank you. I'm late to the show tonight, but wondered if Eileen is the pastor. I don't know. Since you don't know, you should check it out. Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell would be a great opening statement possibility. Thank you. Hey, Barrett, I'm coming to Nashville on business in June. Do you have a favorite restaurant and or bar on or near Broadway that you suggest I visit? Happy Easter. Christ is king indeed. I don't drink. I don't know any of the bars on Broadway. I've been sober for over 3 years. Favorite restaurant near Broadway? Oak. Is that near Broadway? Yeah, just off Broadway. I would go to Oak. If you want to leave Broadway a little bit and get a little adventurous, there's a really cool restaurant in the Belmead area. It's probably 5 miles away. And it's called Noosh, Noosh. You'd have to Uber over there and back. It's not walking distance, but it's a great restaurant. Oh, I love it. And when you go in, just say, hey, I just start bringing food. I want apps. I want salads. I want soups. I want meals. We're going to share family stuff. Just start pounding the table with food. It's not a very expensive place. You'll have a blast. They'll fill you up. Get a pot of tea, sit it on the table, have the little tea lights under it. I love Noosh. I love it. But on the Broadway area, Oak probably, I think, is spectacular. I think it's spectacular. Christ is king indeed. Happy Easter. Watching you has been constantly saying, preach, Baron, and amen, brother. Great show, as always. Thank you. Iowa girl here. We have a huge storm moving. B, keep running your pod the way you want. Those of us that are true followers will always stay Christ is king. Thank you. I just hate having to get rude with people. That's not really me. Baron, the trolls are tiring. Be joyful. In my most angry voice. Much love from South Dakota. Consider it joy. But Baron, you and Daisy are natural-born investigators, leaving no stone unturned. I think I speak for everyone when saying y'all are everything that's right in this world. You're in the top 50 for good reason. Congratulations. Thank you. That's very kind. I'm going quickly because we're late and we still got a few to get through. Yeah, that's fine. First-time super chatter. Located here in the capital of the litter box. Probably your most unlikely subscriber as a radical leftist. Love the show. You're bringing people together every day. Thank you. We welcome radical leftists here. Hopefully we change your mind. I'm an Arsenault from Homa. Small world. Are you related to Tom, the mayor of Shreveport? Isn't MaxFeed the business that Tyler and Lori F are on the board or something like that? Might be wrong, but that immediately came to mind. I knew I had heard that name. Thank you. Thank you. Is that where Viral Babes goes? I'll be honest. I've been terrified to put that in. I do not want whatever Viral Babes is on my computer. Christ is king indeed. That's why I don't want Viral Babes on my computer. But yeah, thank you. Thank you. If that's true, that's crazy. I thought they were super feed though. Okay, I need to know what church he spoke at because I live in Oxnard and I never knew he spoke at a church here. And when was this? Oxnard is right next to Thousand Oaks. And is it Camarillo or Camarillo? Camarillo. I'll admit the California names trip me out. The opening statement positively terrified me. Miraculous that some elected loon hasn't blown us all to kingdom come due to lapse in communication or judgment. Agreed. Well, I wanted to do it. I wanted to know what the process was. What do you think about the oil hub explosions all over the world? What's going on? Who could be behind it? It's a bit terrifying. Love your podcast. I don't know anything about it. Oil hub explosion. Well, that's scary. Don't know. Correction. October 28th, Project Constitution shared video proof of X of EMS being waved off by CK's team as they shoved him in the back of the SUV. Search Project Constitution gray shirt guy. Duly noted. Why are we yelling? Why are we yelling? I will read this calmly, despite your disposition and your obvious angst. I'm kidding, Michelle. Do you think Corby should be afraid for his life for calling out Colby Hall and then showed messages where Corby Hall said, and Candace showed that we can take him out at any time and he'll never be found? Yeah, maybe a little. Varana behind, but now is it possible for states to secede and become independent from the U.S.? If so, I think we should take Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida for what it's worth. We settled that issue in the 1860s. So there's a really cool book. I don't know if you've ever read it. You probably haven't. Jefferson Davis wrote it, believe it or not. I read it on Kindle years ago. So I don't have the actual book to show you. But it talked about the justifications, because he was the president of the Confederate States. It talked about the justifications for starting the Civil War from his perspective. And I was very curious as a history buff, like, what did they think? Because the victors always write history. And so I've always heard it from the victor side, from the Union side. I've never heard it from the Confederate side. So I read it. Just wanted to know. And he made a really compelling argument, not about slavery. He didn't even mention it, really. It was about when the states joined, they all had a contract with the federal government. We will join on the following conditions. And one of the conditions was at any point we can leave anytime we want. And if you'll accept that, we'll ratify it and you ratify it and we'll become a state. South Carolina had it. Alabama had it. Tennessee had it. Georgia had it. Florida had it. They all had it. It was just, or most of them did, but it was like a conditional entry. We're happy to join your United States government. We will join you, but at any time we can back out by a simple vote. And the federal government said, okay. United States said, deal, shook on it, signed documents. They voted, states ratified, all whatever it takes to become a state. I'm not sure. And then when they tried to exercise, the federal government said, nah, you ain't going anywhere. We're holding you against your will. You will not leave. And they fought a war over it. And it was pretty much settled that, no, you can't leave, not without violence, not without a war. And you better be able to win the war because otherwise you're staying. There's one exception to that. It's Texas. Because Texas, when they joined, they had a very interesting provision. Now, they would still be part of the United States, but Texas's entry to the United States was conditioned on Texas being able, on a vote of the legislature, to separate into 5 states. And they could draw the lines however they want. And what it would allow them to do is add 8 additional United States senators from the state of Texas, which would be weird. I wish they would do it, but they're not going. Heading to Nashville tomorrow from Kentucky. Going to wear my high IQ shirt. Keep going, Max. I'll keep my peepers peeled. See if I see you. My husband and I are trying to figure out who all you have framed behind you. Can you give us a quick rundown? Sure. Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt. I'll come back to that one. That's Joe McCarthy. Well, I won't come back to it. That's Joe McCarthy, Senator Joe McCarthy. John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Booker T. Washington, Rosa Parks. There is your tour. I've given that tour several times, and I've given a little explanation of why they're there and in that order. But if you're eager, you can go back and search some old shows and find it where I've done it before. Y'all crack me up. 8 kids and your wife is a doula, and you don't know what a sitz bath is. She might. I've never had to sit in one. That's okay. You're a great podcaster, so you're forgiven. Congrats on the top 50 slot. Thank you. All is fair in love and war. Thank you. Have you spoken to Ian recently? Yes, yesterday. Worried. Don't be. He's fine. Kristen Biter. Question about pastor wife. I recall Erica saying it was Terry Christ's wife at Arizona Church. He was a guest speaker at my church back in the 90s, so it stuck out. FYI, he resigned in 22 because of Hillsong scandals. I'd like to take a picture of that because I recall that still being an issue that was not resolved. Make a deal with Candace. You interview her husband, and she can interview Mrs. Coleman. I don't know that Mrs. Coleman would want to do that. Aren't charities there to help? What does TPUSA do? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to chalk that up to a rhetorical question. Is it welfare wrong? I'm tired of being a single mom with no help, with 2 kids in college and having to pay for war, welfare, and theft. Time to revamp the government. Yeah. I'm sorry, James 1, 9 and 10. Verse following the quote she says on her wall in recent speech. Last one was a goodie too. Remember the last one. For time, I'll go through it quickly. See if I can find James quickly. James, where are you, James? Where are you, James? I should know where these things are better. James, found it. James 1, found it. 9 and 10. Let the lowly brother boast in his exaltation and the rich humiliation, because like the flower of the grass, he will pass away. Mods are kicking booty tonight. I appreciate all you do for this community. Thank you, mods. Shout out. Beat line from last night. I'm going to look and I'm going to judge. RB, R. Coleman, RBP, High IQ. We need this merch. Go, Max, for super. Thank you. The Wayback Machine in 2009 till 2014. There's an about page. Nice. Now, keep in mind, he didn't buy it until 2017. So I don't know if he re-registered or what, but his record didn't start till 2017. Would you please explain why CK thought he was going to prison if Trump had not been elected? Was it nonprofit related? Love your new opening. Thank you for all you do, Crisis King. We can only speculate. So I don't want to speculate because he's dead and he can't defend himself. So I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth, or I don't even want to guess. It would just be conjecture, and I'm not going to do that to the guy. Hey, Baron. Cracks me up when you get worked up. Don't be a Joe. Congrats on your 100th episode. Thanks for staying humble and speaking the truth. Doing my best. Thank you. 5 new people will be able to watch Trigger Smart tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Ish. Don't be mad if it's a little after 1. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'll hang up and listen, good buddy. I'm sure you've looked through ATP's 990s. Who are they rescuing in Israel? Why so much donated from LDS Church? I don't know the answer to that. There was something in the air tonight. Fernando, Catholics having a strong 2026. So did he get drafted? Did he go to the Las Vegas Raiders? How about that? I thought the Titans were going to make a play for him. I was kind of excited about that. But they didn't, apparently. He's a Raider now. Good for him. Indiana University quarterback, number 1 overall pick. Amazing. Never thought I'd see that. You absolutely cracked me up last night with your mug versus cup routine. Add Fleetworthy. You remind me of Rush. Intelligence, honesty, plus clean entertainment. Thank you. Christ is king. Thank you. Very high praise. Baron, your integrity, positive attitude, dedication to family and faith make me want to be a better version of myself. I've been an addict for 20 years and I'm 1 week clean. Pray for me, please. James, I will pray for you. Stay in there, brother. Stay in there. Hang in there. You'll get past it. I promise. My 20-year-old daughter, Riley, said she was saying, hold please before you. Please correct this nonsense. Skeeter from Kentucky's family. Riley, don't get out of control here. We're running a tight ship. Bless you, Baron. Thank you. Thanks for the new member. I would even take Buckley Carlson for 2028 over any Kirk Vance or Rubio combination. I agree. Checking in, still sober. Thank you for all the encouragement. Thank you, Helga Shabalaba Ding Dong. Thanks for checking in and thanks for staying sober. You're doing our community a solid. I'm such a big fan. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Hey, B, au contraire. I just checked Google Trends and you spiked in Iran on April 17th. I hope I'm not a target. Did you use quotes? Hey, Baron, what's up? My dad recommended your stuff to me as I was doing research about 910, so thank you for everything. The truth will always prevail. You sound like you have a brilliant father. Respect him, honor him. 4th commandment. Mr. C, this is a high Q outfit, offers no apologies to whiners. I'm still blown away. They got rid of all the car altogether. Intentionally botched investigation. Yes, I agree with you. Woo, yes, night teas, please. Edge? They'll be edgy if we make them. Doesn't it seem like when your hair looks just about perfect when you need a haircut right after, or just me? Oh, do I need a haircut again? I just got one like 2 weeks ago. I kind of got it out of control there. Sorry for going quick, guys, but we're at 3.5 hours, and I'm got to pee. Fox News, Fox Nation has a documentary with Hannity called Radicalized. It includes Tyler. The others have already been proven guilty. How can they do that? Ridiculous. Christ is king. Indeed. I did not see that. That's crazy. Consumption tax. Thought I could not love you more. No matter how you got your money, we both pay the same tax when we buy something. National debt goes to zero overnight. Well, they'd have to pay it down first, but yeah, it would go down quickly, I think. Hubby grew up in Homa. It's pronounced Homa. And he learned great cooking, even if he thinks J.E. is dead. Artemis is legit. The juice box rules, etc. Blind. Well, but we love him anyway, right, Edge? We still love your husband, I think. But Baron, keep being phenomenal. Love you and Candace. Dress Vans are indeed a part of the high IQ outfit. Christ is king. This man knows what he's talking about. You listen carefully. But Baron, the Fold AR sold to the police officer and then stolen was June of 2024. I believe you. I'm not drawing the connection if you have one. Pinky in the brain. I forgot about Pinky in the brain. Welfare Queen coming soon from Fleet. Maybe. Thoughts regarding someone other than Charlie from inside the SUV being the person observed by police hanging outside and struggling? Not in on the plan. I've thought about it. DK Joy's speech was written by Paula White, allegedly. Christ is king indeed. I would not read a Paula White speech. My birthday today, number 59. This Canuck is happy you exist. I'm happy you exist, Oliver Lover. Just scrolled back and I've only missed 3 lives since the 10th. Thankful Ian sent me here. Congratulations. Almost 300,000 and only 25,000 left. Thanks, Mrs. Coleman and your kiddos for us. Daisy, we love you too. Thank you. Thank you. As a doula, Mrs. Coleman is going to be disappointed that you don't know what a sitz bath is. Big in postpartum. Next merch round, I'd love a tee that says, I don't know what that means, but thank you. Yeah, I try to not let my ignorance hang out too much, though. Question thought, are mass shootings less in open carry states? I'm in Arizona. I have a 2A at all times, and I can't remember the last time mass shooting here. Just curious. Christ is king. Love you in this community. I've never seen that math done, to be honest with you. Sloths like the animal. Love my 12-year-old changed, LOL. My 12-year-old changed my YouTube name, and YouTube makes you wait 2 weeks to change it back. 3 more days, and I'll have a normal name again. Christ is king indeed. Well, I love sloths as well now. Tacoma are mainly driven by LSBNs or 50-year-old men's. Tacoma and Hilux have a different body style. Baron, please let your dad know I stopped eating in my car, losing weight. Dad, we're saving people one at a time. Yeah, don't be eating in your car. Go Candace, go Baron, go Baron. Yes, thank you. Facts are inherently fair. I can appreciate King Baron's use of them to identify subtle welfare queens. They won't let me use the term. Oh, that's too bad. Alex Clark, Indie Radio Show, while she was on, but tells everyone she left the #1 rated show for Toilet Paper USA. Micah Beckwith, Attorney General and pastor, best friends with Nate Purnell. Google his son's charges, and Rob McCoy. Duly noted. What #1 radio show was she on? Or what #1 rated show was she on? Huh. On CO, Corby said there was a watchtower in the middle of the track they walked around on VM's property. Curious. I didn't see a watchtower. Did you? Did I still have that up? I don't think I do. No, I don't have it up. I'll have to go back and look for the watchtower. I forgot about that. EK eating cereal mom dinner while cruising around on Taxpayer Dime, $75,000 on a Gulfstream 5. She writes the jokes, friends. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like, honestly, if you got their kind of money, have someone cook for you. I mean, just have meals ready to go. Heat them up. Eat them. Previous commenter responded about his dead uncle actually being from the same town you said Marx was affiliated with. It is the same name as the trust. That's weird. If that's the trust, that's weird. Jewish donors playing to all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this. 3:54 leaving PM. Leave me no choice for leaving. What's the PM thing there? I don't know what that means. I made a mistake taking a sip of my drink when you joked about EK on Delta Air Economy flight with the peanuts and overfilled tiny water cups. My nose hurts and everything smells like OJ. Yeah, well, that's the experience when you fly with the plebes. Hi, B. Love you and Candace. Thanks for going, Max. Certainly will do. Maddie and SD here. Love to watch you. Thank you for your work. Precious King, thank you. Last night, you mentioned the gingerbread man. I grew up in Mechanicsburg. The G-Man was my stomping grounds. Great memories. Great memories for me, too, honestly. Baron, today is my birthday. Not been great except for you. I'm sorry to hear that, Susan. I hope it turns better. It's still, depending on where you are, it's still fairly early in the evening. Got a little time left. Baron, my Hold Please mug came in the mail. I love the huge handle. Amazing mug. Comfortable and high IQ indeed. Could you please shout out my amazing dad, Guy? Huge fan. God bless. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. What a great name. Guy. Hi, Guy. I love that. But Baron, behind on the live, VMX 7, Victor Marx 7, Mandate Mountain, per Corby on the Candace yesterday. Love the show. Stay safe. Keep going. Max, you and Candace, the tag team. 2-in-1 KO. What? Duly noted. Thank you. Duly noted. Thank you. Check in on my grumblers here. Make sure you guys aren't getting any trouble over there. I know how you people are. Candace interview yesterday, and barrel systems make sense why they said 30-06 doesn't fit. Look forward to the show every day. Love the community vibes. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge. You guys had a shooting at the local mall. Sorry, but this site is on way back. That's what I hear. The way you just typed had me rolling. You talking about doing this? Well, I assume that's what he looks like when he types. Sent too quick. Wayback shows Mark's site. It's as bad as it sounds. Gross. Again, only if it's after 2017. I don't want to indict the man on something that happened before he owned it. I'm heading to Nashville to take the train to Watertown this Saturday. Thanks for the community. Thanks to this community for the idea. Looking forward to it. Watertown, huh? Santa's Bar on Bransford in Nashville. I believe you on the bars. I'm just not a boozer anymore. Used to be. Used to cut a pretty wide path. Please pray for me having surgery in the morning. If next time you see me, I say, I love Trump. Bibi, no, they got me. I'm hoodwinked and do exorcism to save me. Christ is King indeed. Moon Goddess, I'll be on the lookout. I think of you and Candace as an autopsy. She's the retractor designed to crank the ribs apart and expose the heart, lungs, and you're the ME doing the fine point testing. Morbid, I know, but her husband is dead. At least CK was humble. I thought he was. Welfare Queen starter pack, commercial firearm license, Exxon Super Plus rewards card, private plane edition, love of orphans, white jumpsuits, nonprofit tax maxing, sits bath on set in Rider Claws. Guys, we made it through another edition, the 103rd. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to the like button on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share the love with your friends. If you want to buy merch, realbaronpodcast.com. Great way to support the program, realbaronpodcast.com. And I'll be back tomorrow. If you're a member, I'll be back tomorrow for the member show. Matt from Trigger Smart will be here. We're going to have a good time. I like Matt a lot. He's probably one of the podcasters I talk to the most off air. Just texting back and forth, exchanging ideas, having chats, bouncing things off each other. Actually, he may not want me to tell this, so I will anyway. He was one of the ones I sent the picture to before the show and said, am I out of my mind? He's like, I don't know what it is. That was good enough for me to go with. I'm not saying he agreed. I'm just saying he didn't say, no, dude, that you're out of your mind. It looks nothing like it. He was like, I really can't tell you, man. I don't know. So I didn't know either, so I went with it. I got one more that just came in. Let me grab it. I headed back to my Catholic roots because you and God's tugging at my heart. My recent, now former church has hosted Frank Turk, and I can't anymore. Thank you, Daisy, Mrs. Coleman Mods, for all your hard work. Yes, thank you. That's a great one to end on. Guys, don't forget. I'll be back Sunday night. Let me say this before. I'll be back Sunday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. But don't forget, because this is honestly, in the grand scheme of things, the only real important thing. Jesus loves you. I can't stress that enough. Jesus loves you. So thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you members of the grand jury tomorrow. I'll see the rest of you Sunday night. Look forward to it. Have a wonderful evening. Get a good night's sleep. If you're in Australia, have a good day. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you. You're helping us hunt down Glenn Beck in a purely ratings way. No, not a Not any other way. Don't take that the wrong way, Glenn. I'm not too sure about Glenn. I want his spot, though. I'll see you guys later. Bye.